Hello there, and welcome back.
What is this place?
Disconnected.
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 I'm starting to feel disconnected.
You have reached a number that has been disconnected.
Hey all, welcome to the newest Thursday of this week. Glad we're here live with the one and only longtime friend of the show, and also long time since he's been on the show, Mr. Anthony King from the Cult Movies Podcast. Anthony, hey.
Hello, welcome everybody. I'm glad to be here. Thanks, Ryan.
You know, we've done our thing together a couple times since the last time you were here, and so it just feels like you've been here. I went and looked at the previous one. It's been like 2.5 years. What are we doing?
2.5 years? Well, I mean, we've known each other for at least that long. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's been far too long. You've had a lot going on. The podcast disappeared. The podcast has resurrected. Your vision disappeared. Your vision resurrected.
The podcast disappeared twice, and I resurrected.
Oh, that's true.
Twice. Yeah, because you came on. We did Discoveries. I did like 4 episodes, and I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. And then I was like, okay, I want to do it again. And then you came on, and I'm still going. So knock on wood here.
Am I the bad luck here?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if I don't make it to June, we might have to talk.
To be fair, the third time we did this together, your vision went away right after, so I might genuinely be.
Yeah, we'll see. I can see kind of. I see shapes out of that eye. I see perfectly here. Luckily, I don't have to see anything to podcast, so or do a YouTube show.
At least it's not on movies. That's the good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, we got a lot to talk about tonight because one, we chose a topic that is kind of near and dear to both of our hearts and very important for your show. Tonight, we're going to be talking about film reference books, which is not something we've expanded on in a deep way ever on my show, but I'm excited to get into it tonight. What's your history with film reference books?
I think probably I'm looking at the stacks around me. I mean, it was probably fairly new. I think I would come across movie guides probably, in the library, the school library when I was a kid, but never thought much about it. But then when I discovered who Danny Perry was, it was off to the races. And thanks to Bill Ackerman, and then is how I first got introduced to Danny, and then Pure Cinema, of course. Yeah. And so got all of Danny's books, and then it's just become, I mean, like, honest to God, I've got a bookcase full of movie books, bios, guides, whatever. And have I read all of them? No. Will I ever read all of them? Probably not, but it feels good to have them. It's just like being surrounded by movies.
Yeah.
Are we going to watch them all? Hopefully. But
I'm going to die trying. I will say that.
Yeah. I mean, I have my watch list of just stuff that I own is embarrassing, and we all know.
Subtle shake there.
We all. I mean, my wife is watching right now, and she's upstairs like, yes. Why do you agree with that? What the hell?
But you got 4 packages this week, Anthony. Come on.
Seriously. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always been a big reader my entire life. So I have a huge library of bios, narratives, whatever, novels. But like a film book is its own beast. And there's one thing, like going through a big list on Letterboxd or IMDb or whatever, but like cracking open a book is, I don't know, it's a different thing. And then, a lot of these books are like all my Danny books. Of course, those are all way out of print. And so I buy them used. And that's my favorite thing is I crack the package open, and then I open the book, and like, it smells like an old book, and it's the best. And you can't get that from browsing a letterbox list. Hopefully not. I don't know. Maybe someday
with technological advancements, I'd love that.
They'll include that. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, God, just movies, books, movie books. It's the best.
I fully agree. Share a lot of the same sentiments. In fact, you've already taken multiple of my talking points that I wanted to bring up tonight. Because one of the things I view film reference books, and I hope you do the same, as very different from all of the biographies and autobiographies. Those are you approach them with different missions in mind.
Yep.
Are you a voracious biography enjoyer?
I am. I do prefer nonfiction over novels, and so I have a ton of biographies. A lot of filmmaker bios, but also like I just got The Power Broker, written by Robert Caro. Uh, I know nothing about Robert Moses, but it just sounds interesting as hell. And it's like 90,000 pages long. It's going to take me
Yeah.
forever to read it. But yeah, it's just the funny thing is, I was a terrible student in school. I got kicked out of college. I was just all around terrible, not a good studier, terrible test taker. Yet I love learning and I love gaining knowledge. And I think that's one of the reasons I like reading biographies. Of course, my head is full of useless shit now, but still, I don't know. I feel good about it.
I'm the same, and actually, I'd kind of liken that a lot to why I love documentaries. Like, I find
Yeah.
myself watching tons of documentaries.
Yeah, well, like I told you, I was a judge for a film festival years
Mhm.
ago, and I was part of the team that went through all the documentaries that came in, and it was fascinating. Most of them were poorly made, but still, I got something. I learned something from each one of those, and I love that feeling.
Agreed. Same. Which is why, I mean, spoiler alert, when Antenna comes out and our first title is a documentary, we have multiple documentaries signed, folks, by the way. There are lots more in the pipeline to discuss because Billy Ray and myself are like huge into the doc scene. So there's going to be a lot coming on that front. I probably should not say much because I'm going to be an idiot and reveal things that I shouldn't. So after that, one of the other things that you brought up that I want to talk about is the smell of books. This is one of those things, and this is maybe the autism speaking, I'm not sure, but when I get a new package, whether it be like a Blu-ray, a set of Legos when I was like 10 years old, my grandfather's study was my inspiration for loving books, and that's because I remember being 4 years old for the first time walking in there and noticing the scent and realizing 10 years later I could think about that room and smell it when I'm 1,500 miles away. And
Yep.
I was like, whoa, this is a weird sort of thing. And I noticed when I was younger that films and not to get all scientific, but like the olfactory sense of smell really has this conjuring effect. And there are certain films that I have that I can see a scene and go, oh, the first time I saw this was this season of this year, and I was with this person in this theater, and I remember all of it immediately. And I do the same thing with smells. I love it.
Yeah. Smell is my number one sense, in that it like recalls so many memories, like from decades and decades and decades ago. Like when I got one of my Danny books, I can't remember which one. It might be Cult Movie Stars. Came from an obvious pipe smoker's house. And like, so I opened it and like, I was kind of, fanning through the pages, and that smell
Yeah.
of like pipe tobacco, which is great.
You can smell the pouch.
Like it smelled so good. And it took me back to my great grandpa Elmo in his house, because he was a pipe smoker. And it's like, what the fuck? It's crazy. I love it. So yeah, smell is huge. Okay, so this is a funny thing. Last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I was telling Bobby, I work at a school. I'm the head cook at a high school here in Omaha, and every now and then I'll walk into the kitchen and it will smell like the cafeteria from when we were kids. That very distinct smell, and it's very hard to describe. And people are like, "Well, yeah, of course, it's a school cafeteria." It's not. Like we do things differently. It smells more like a restaurant in our joint. But
Yeah.
every now and then, like, I'll take trash out and then walk in the kitchen and I'll be hit with that smell, and like it's like I matrix all the way like back to when I was in second grade at Lakeview Elementary, and it's like, holy fuck, I'm back in the, the gymnasium. It's crazy. So yeah, smell is huge for me.
I am so glad I found somebody with that similar mindset right now. That is great. Madhouse had a question in the chat. Wants to know, does Antenna take suggestions? And I already answered yes. I will literally look into everything. Anthony's already sent a list over. I've got it saved. I've looked through about half of them already. Madhouse wants to know, should I use the Ryan at email on the site or go through the contact us? Honestly, either one. Contact us just has another person that can see the email, but if you want it to just be me, because it's a private conversation, I use the Ryan one. I don't care. Either way, I'm reading it because that's what I do. We got a lot to talk about tonight, though, so we should probably stop talking about my grandfather's tobacco. Let's go into pickups, because one of the people that I'm always excited about is somebody like yourself, where you don't usually share photos of what you're getting in the mail or what you're hyped about recently. And then I find out at the end of the year what you really loved throughout the year. So what have you been getting in the mail recently?
All right, I got a stack in front of me here. We're going to start with the package I got in today.
Sweet.
Okay. I prefer to support the small businesses, okay? But sometimes you can't beat Amazon's prices.
Yeah.
And they had this box set from Severin marked down from $75 to $50. And I was like, I have to do it. And I've been wanting, because I love all these movies, and I've been wanting to get this box ever since it came out. But it's the Lenzi Violent Streets. Oh, dude.
I was so ready. I thought you were going to say this one, because I just did the same thing.
Oh my God. Yeah. So
I was going to share that next week, but yes.
Umberto Lenzi is maybe behind. He might be my favorite director of all time. Larry Fessenden is my living director, but
Lenzi,
yeah, Lenzi, which is crazy, because it's like, what? Why? The man could do it all, but his crime films are so good. I love Italian crime films, and I mean, this is the Stephanie Crawford Knock Test, like hard box, and it comes with 2 soundtracks.
Yeah,
incredible. So, anyways, got that just in when I got home from work today. Criterion sale, flash sale. I've been in a real 80s mood, and these are 2 that I've been wanting forever. Tootsie and the Breakfast Club.
Nice.
Hadn't owned either, which is crazy. I hadn't owned Breakfast Club, but so I say what you will, but I love those Brat Pack movies from the 80s. And Tootsie, I think, is maybe my all-time favorite feel-good movie. It's just like there's nothing sad about it.
That's a good topic for an episode, huh?
Feel-good movies, yeah. It's just all around the soundtrack. Hoffman is so likable in this movie. Like Terry Garr, she was one of my first crushes.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole cast is great. Pollock directs the hell out of it. Love it. Okay. City on Fire. This was another one that was on sale. The Shout Factory one. I know, sorry, but had to get it. And then maybe a month ago, I did my first Hamilton Books order.
Nice.
And talk about prices you can't beat.
It's true.
And I've spent so much time on Hamilton Books website, like filling a cart, and you could fill your cart with $3.99, $4.99 movies, and then when you're done, it's like $500. What? And then I can't.
But your cart has 816 things in it. Remember?
yeah. And I've never been able to whittle it down.
Right.
So this time I went in with a goal. I said, I'm going to look for 80s cop movies because that's my jam. And I walked away with 5 for $30.
That's pretty good. $30 shipped, by the way.
$30 shipped. 2 Kino Lorber with sleeves, and let's see, Mill Creek. Yeah, and one of them is a 4K. Okay, that's crazy.
That's not bad, yeah.
Okay, Catch the Heat is the first one. I've never seen this, always wanted to. Great 80s cop movie starring Tiana Alexandra as Checkers Goldberg. A one-woman strike force heats up the war on drugs. And she goes toe-to-toe with Rod Steiger, who is like quietly menacing in this movie. Okay, the other Kino with the sleeve. Number One with a Bullet. Robert
Nice.
Carradine. All
Still
right.
never seen it.
Billy D. Williams. Super fun. You know, everybody's like, oh yeah, Revenge of the Nerds, Robert Carradine. He's not your like standard cop, but he's still pretty fucking cool in this movie. Super fun. Really love it. Okay, the 4K I got was Red Heat, which is another super fun, great Chicago movie. Walter Hill, Belushi and Schwarzenegger. It's super fun.
Solid script in that one.
What's that?
Solid script in Red Heat,
yeah.
which nobody ever really talks about. It's actually a pretty well written movie.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. The Mill Creek, Eddie Macon's Run. If anyone's ever seen this, another super fun. Kirk Douglas. I think this is where the phrase "I'm getting too old for this shit" comes from. So this is 1980 or 81, I think.
That's pretty early.
He's John Schneider is an escaped convict. Kirk Douglas chasing him down. And then Tom Noonan's in this, R.I.P. Tom Noonan, who plays like a hillbilly hick who is super funny. And then my final one here, I'll admit, not a great movie, but it's an 80s cop movie, and it was like $4. I had to get it. Trancers. I think this will be the only Trancers movie I watch.
That's all you need.
Because I really don't want to watch the other ones. I'm not a big Full Moon guy. But Helen Hunt.
Thank you.
Helen Hunt is terrific in this. She's she plays this one of her early roles, I think, maybe one of her first.
Yeah.
But it's fun enough, but it's one of those where it's like, if I ever get around to writing my book, I gotta have it. I gotta own it. So anyways, there you go. There's some that I picked up recently.
I am not a huge Full Moon person either, but I am a known softie for their Moonbeam titles. Their the kids line that they did, like the Prehysteria and they did like 4 others that are like classics that are great. Anyways, not a big Full Moon person either.
Yeah.
So I got a few here to talk about, which I was going to show it next week, but because I'm not buying a whole bunch. Got in. Speaking of Severin, their high tension Lamberto Bava set. Eager to crack that open this week. Got in 4 over the last week that I wanted to talk about. One of them is going to lead into a discussion later, so I might hold off on showing that one yet. But first, just got in from Unearthed Films, The Ugly. This is a slasher from 96, which is really unique. I think this is one of the better takes on like mental health hysteria that was happening from the early 90s to the mid 2000s ish. I'm a big fan of this one, but also this is here because Howard S. Berger and myself did a visual essay on this disc. Strongly suggest everybody check it out. It is not as hardcore as a lot of Unearthed Films releases, so this is not like super blood and guts. I'm gonna see knives going into people's skulls for fun type of movie. It's a fairly tame slasher.
There you go. When I think of Unearthed, I think of Dead Girl.
Yes. And I've got one of my film reference books I was going to talk about Unearthed for, a Serbian film, which is the other thing that people go to with that one. The Ugly is a lot of fun, so check that out.
Cool.
On a very different note from The Ugly, big fan of what Warner Archive has been doing with the animation, and I barely remember seeing Lippy the Lion and Hardy Har Har when I was younger, so this is going to be essentially all fresh for me. Very, very curious to check this out. Comes in 2-disc release. Nobody's doing animation better than them right now, I don't think. The fact that they are hitting obscure things at a pretty inexpensive price and giving them great restorations, It's a great story all around.
Yep.
The last thing, just recently, I did an episode with Dirk from the VHS podcast, and while we were live, he told me I should check out Handsome Guys, which I did, and it just came in. This is I had to get this from Terracotta overseas because this is a Nova Media release. This is a remake of I don't remember which movie he said it was now, but I'm going to check it out, and it's supposed to be great. Somebody else is probably going to remember me in the or remember what the answer is in the chat and let me know. But yes, it is a remake. Eager to see that. Yeah, I got one more, but I'll hold off on talking about that. I'm always curious to talk about what you're watching too. So what have you been watching?
Oh boy. Okay. In relation to one of the books, I'm going to talk later. I've been watching a lot of spaghetti westerns and like Mexican Zapata films.
Nice.
Or Italian Zapata films, as it were. So, you know, a lot of stuff that apparently like is well known in those circles, yet I'd never even heard of them. So it's something like Tepepa, starring Tomas Milian, or Don't Turn the Other Cheek. Let's see here, Compañeros. I watched The Mercenary for the first time. Of course, Franco Nero is in
Nice.
a lot, if not most of these. Bullet for the General, which is, I guess, a huge one. But other than The Mercenary, I'd never heard of like any of these, and they're all streaming on Tubi. Most terrible quality, but it, you know, I'll
Accessibility is king.
Yep, I'll take what I can get. Let's see here. I watched oh god. Okay, completely different, but for whatever reason, we go over to my wife's aunt and uncle's house for Easter every year. And they live on this farm, and so we sit out in their barn and eat dinner, play games, and Steve always has movies playing up on the TV. But for the past few years, whatever reason, he's playing Dances with Wolves, which think whatever you want, okay? It's a movie that I grew up watching. My dad was a huge fan. Like it is a very much Sunday afternoon dad type of movie, right? But it's one of those where like Steve put it on and like we're all gathered around the table and chit-chatting. He puts the movie on and like all the dudes like slowly like flock to the TV and we're and like the TV's up high and we're all just kind of standing around and just end up watching Dances with Wolves. I don't know if I don't know, what do people think about Dances with Wolves? I love it.
It's well shot.
I think Kevin Costner's a good director.
Mm-hmm.
It is beautiful. So anyways, Dances with Wolves, I just think that's funny. The other thing is we on Cult Movies recently recorded an episode on Phantom of the Paradise. And so I was filling in some Brian De Palma blind spots. And I've come to the conclusion that De Palma, I don't think he's my guy.
Oh.
Okay, I like, you know, his 70s, like late 70s and 80s stuff is good. Okay, Phantom of the Paradise, I like. I don't love it, but I like Phantom of the Paradise. But I don't get like his early films. And like I did an episode, and I think I did it with Heather Drain maybe, on Greetings way back in the first or second season of the Cult Movies, because it's in the first book. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So I watched Home Movies. I watched Get to Know Your Rabbit. I don't know, man. Like, I appreciate that De Palma had his crew, like his early crew, like Garrett Graham and they all work really well together. And they all are on the exact same page. Ryan just died inside. I'm sorry, Ryan. And I love that, like, they get each other's humor, but I don't get it, man. Yeah. Like, it's, I don't know. Is it too smart for me? Is it too weird for me? I don't know.
I'd love to know the answer, because I feel like it's great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, nobody's booing him though. That's okay.
Everybody's booing Anthony. Because and we did do like a top 5 De Palma, and I love Carrie. Carrie's my favorite De Palma. I love Carlito's Way. I love The Untouchables, 80s cop movie. But Raising Cane's good. The Fury's good. Casualties of War I actually really like.
Good movie.
And Dress to Kill, Body Double, Blowout.
I was waiting to hear if there was a Blowout's okay or something.
They're fine. Right? Like Blowout, Dress to Kill, Body Double. Those are the ones where people are like, yeah, that's my shit. I'm like, well, it can be your shit. It's fine. It's not mine. Yeah. And so then I also watched Black Dahlia just to try to be a completist. I think he's lost it. Really think
I like Black Dahlia.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my God. Have you read Elroy's novel?
No, absolutely not, because I know I'd hate the movie. So why ruin that?
My co-host Matt and I had this discussion. Like I think it's always good to see the movie first before you see the book,
absolutely, because
you're gonna hate the movie if you read the book first. And you see the movie and you read the book, and then the book is sort of like an expansion on the movie, right? I read the book first. Book is great, and then I saw Josh Hartnett as this character. I'm like, no, what are we doing? No way. Yeah. So, I still need to see Femme Fatale, Passion. I haven't seen Bonfire of the Vanities.
Femme Fatale is good.
That's what everyone says.
It's good.
So I'm probably gonna hate it now that everyone's like, yeah, man, it's good. I'm like, okay, we'll see.
It's not very De Palma, so maybe you will like it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his early stuff is so. I appreciate I think he's on another level, and I appreciate like Dionysus 69, Rabbit, Wedding Party, Greetings, that stuff. It might be a whole different level of genius than I can comprehend, but I'm like, you guys are fucking weird, and I'm weird. I'm really weird. And I'm like, whoa, you guys are really fucking weird. Okay, that's it. I don't want to piss any more people off. There we go. I'm done.
De Palma is like one of my guys. That's the hard part. And I mean, yeah, Black Dahlia defender. My wife loves Black Dahlia, and it's not just sticking up for her. It might be Stockholm syndrome in a little bit, but it's entertaining at the very least. But yeah, saying Blowout is fine is borderline like heresy.
I know. I'm sorry, you guys. Like, I tried like Phantom of the Paradise. This was like the 3rd or 4th time I watched it, and like the first time I was like, I don't like. It was so hyped up to me, and people were like, "This is an Anthony movie," and I watched, and I was like, "It's not an Anthony movie." And then I was like, maybe I was in a bad mood, and so like each time I've come at it like, okay, something was wrong with me when I was watching it, and like every single time I walk away with it, and I'm like. It's fun, whatever.
Jesus.
Snake Eyes. I like Snake Eyes. I like Snake Eyes more than Phantom of the Paradise.
At this time, I don't know if that's an endorsement or.
Well, the good thing is that episode has not been released yet, so maybe
we can scrap it.
Hey.
All right. So my thing real quick, most of mine is from a very privileged point. This whole last week in Kansas City has been Panic Fest. So here is the pass for Panic Fest. Attended a bunch of stuff that is not out yet. So I'm not going to say much. Just going to try to hype everybody up on some films that you should see. One Asian action film called The Furious that is coming out is a masterpiece. A lot of people are saying it's The Raid, but better. I won't say that it's better, but I will say that if you are a fan of The Raid, you will love this. It is different type of choreography. It is really well made. The action is incredible. It's that finite level of silliness with really serious action coupled with just hilarious over the top gore in a handful of scenes. It's a really great revenge story. There's certain things that happen, like especially in the police station at the end. As long as you remember that, you're gonna go, oh yeah, this is that one. There's certain scenes that happen and you're like, man, how have they never done this in a movie? It is so great.
Wow.
Check out The Furious. I think that comes out end of May from Lionsgate. But then really quick one, Jump Scare. If you get a chance to see that, it is essentially the horror version of Scott Pilgrim, and it's entertaining beyond belief. It is meta, it is kinetic, it is colorful, really well made, a lot of practical effects, some really fun blood, interesting story, but it's really not about the story. It's mostly about watch this and be along for the ride. There is a really fun movie called Frankie Maniac Woman, which I kind of did not like when it first happened to me, which all great movies happen to you, by the way.
Okay.
I walked away from it and thought about it for a little while and went, wait a minute. No, that was a blast. Our lead actress in this, her name is Dina something. I don't remember her last name, but she is incredible in this. It is a really great female slasher, which is not something that we get very often. And at first, it comes across as this fat phobic story, and it turns into something way more than that. It's very entertaining. I think a lot of people like it. For a lot of people, if you're not super into the lower budget, kind of slow going, but really great exposition mixed in with, they really pulled that off with this budget type of movies. You'll like this, but if you're adverse to that, probably don't give it a shot, really. But then the big ones, obviously most people are going to see these, so I won't go into any huge detail, but I got to see Curry Barker's Obsession. I got to see the highly anticipated for so many people, Damien McCarthy's Hokum, which is coming out soon. I think that's in like 2 weeks. And then the other one, which not a lot of people are talking about, I think it comes out in June, Leviticus, Australian film, also coming from Neon. As far as all three of those, I would say my favorite is Obsession by far. Some of the best horror acting I've seen in years, like might even be up there with Toni Collette in Hereditary level of acting.
Wow.
And I understand that is praise that a lot of people in the horror genre and fans of the horror genre don't want to hear, but the lead female in Obsession is giving Toni Collette in Hereditary, but not in the I'm screaming my head off and you think I'm crazy for the entire movie. It's how are you pulling this off with your body in that type of way, type of performance. So go check that out. Hokum. I am one of the odd ones that did not get to see Oddity. I also never got to see Caveat. So this was my first Damien McCarthy. That being said, I'm now dying to see Oddity. I hear Oddity was great. Hokum was very entertaining. Adam Scott, incredible in it. It's also not like super action-packed. It is sort of a slow burn. And I know certain people, when you hear the term slow burn, you kind of turn off. It's not that type of slow burn. It's very much like a haunted house. There's spooky things for your eyes in every scene, and I'm going to be increasing my tension up and down throughout this entire movie type of movie. But it is not something where there's, balls to the wall action every 4 minutes or anything like that. It's interesting. I think you're going to like it. It's great. Leviticus. It is essentially a modern queer take on It Follows in a very different way. And my goodness, there are a couple scenes in Leviticus that are very tense that you don't expect to be, especially because not much is happening in a way that should create tension. But because of how they built the story already, you're like, oh shit, this is a regular person. And now I'm terrified. That sort of thing, I think, is a really smart way to build horror because you don't have to spend a lot of money on effects. And because of that, it's well made. It's exciting. It's unique. It is a very, very interesting film. I think you'll like it. If I'm ranking those 4, because those are kind of the big ones that are about to come out, or 3, I guess, because I mentioned 5. That was a really dumb way. Anyways, Hokum, Obsession, and Leviticus. My favorite is Obsession. My type of horror, Hokum is number 2, but for a lot of people, I could see Leviticus being number 2. Leviticus is just under Hokum for me. That being said, I kind of think Obsession is about to be this year's Weapons. In that a lot of people are going to think it's their favorite movie of the year, and it's great. And then very vocal, like 20% of people are going to say everybody loves it, so it's a shitty movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's not. It's really great, and I think a lot of people are going to like it. Please check it out. Leviticus is going to get a lot less people watching because it's queer horror and it's neon, and a lot of people are like, I hate queers, and a lot of people are like, I hate neon. You all suck. Go watch it. Queers are great. Neon is great. It's a great time. Go watch Leviticus. That's all I'm going to say. To bring the mood down, why don't we talk about the physical media news that came out this week that everybody's kind of pissed off about? Did you hear about Disney, Anthony?
I sure did.
Okay, so news this week dropped that Disney has laid off 1,000 people. And first off, that sounds like a lot. It's Disney, so it's like a drop in the bucket, first of all, which is a shitty thing because it's a corporation. 1,000 people doesn't mean anything to them. That's the weird, we are distant from being human sort of discussion on this. Now, the thing after that sucks is they worded this very specifically in a way that can be the roof is crumbling in all of us and we don't know what to feel. It could also be very, well, what does this mean? It could also be very, well, this doesn't mean at all what everybody's saying. And the answer is it's probably somewhere in between all of those. So the way that their press release, which by the way, wasn't a press release, just somebody reporting on this, came out is that they laid off 1,000 people essentially in their PR department. This is people that are breaking news on what is coming out through Disney. And for Disney, you can probably see why. Why do they need to share all that? It's Disney. People are going to share the news no matter what. You don't need that type of PR. The reality is you do. All of that marketing starts from within. All of that marketing is done by people who have spent decades building up the skill set. But then you get to the bottom part of this, and it says it includes everybody in their home entertainment division. What do you think that means, Anthony?
My first question was how many people, but I mean, and whether that matters or not, I don't know. But you know, it was doom and gloom at first for me.
Yeah.
But it's not like I buy a lot of Disney media, but still, you know, it was all doom and gloom. I don't know. It sounds tricky and confusing and it's easy to, I mean, we should be pissed about it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I want to know more. We won't know more, but I want to know more. Why? You know, show me numbers. How many people? What exactly are we talking about?
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. What Anthony just said is absolutely the truth. We're never going to know the actual answer probably until it's too late. The reality is, because as we already know, Disney has a couple of things for home video already set to come out. They've got Fight Club coming out, which is still weird to say that's a Disney movie, but it technically is at this point. We are, Alice in Wonderland is coming out in 4K. Both of those coming out within a span of just a couple weeks in May. That's all that's been announced from Disney or Fox. That's a catalog title in the entirety of 2026. That's not enough. I mean, even if they were active and open, that's not enough. You look at somebody like Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is releasing at least one a month. They've had a few months lately where it's been 2 or 3. Universal is releasing one every couple weeks at this point.
Yeah.
They've got some weeks where there's 2 coming out. It is embarrassing to have what is one of the largest corporations in the world that is the owner of some of the greatest pieces of art ever created by man sitting in what is their fake ass vault, hoarding it from the world. Now, I've said on this show many, many times, I've said in an interview today that's going up on somebody else's social media channel in a couple of days, one of the worst things for this industry is piracy. I will happily state right now, if Disney is not putting something out on Blu-ray or DVD, you should bootleg the shit out of it. One of the main reasons why is because you Googling where to find that bootleg is going to come up in SEO. You affecting the market is going to affect the way that they're looking at analytics. You talking about that movie is maybe going to inspire somebody else to go watch that movie. That is the best thing that we can do right now, is to talk about freaking Midnight Madness. The best thing that we can do is talk about how Flubber was announced on Blu-ray and then canceled and never actually came out on Blu-ray. You can talk about what came out through the Disney Movie Club that is now going for $100 on eBay. Go to freaking Pirate Bay. Go to whatever site that you're using. Go to Stinky Tuna. Go to all of these other places and buy old Disney movies that you can't get on Blu-ray and get it in your collection so that you can show your kids, so that you can show your friends, that you can do what you can to make an impact on these films that are not getting released. Now, this is not meant as a diatribe. It is not meant as something that is everybody go raise the sales on Pirate Bay so that we can take it down and hoard all the Disney stuff ourselves. No, this needs to be used to send a message. And one of the big things is I am one of those guys. I'm now running a distribution company. I would license the shit out of 843 Disney movies tomorrow if they let me. I couldn't afford to even license one, but that's a different story. That being said, we can do what we can to try to make this be something that changes. Really, the only thing that we can is affect change through numbers. Disney has money. Altogether, we don't even have Disney money. That's the embarrassing thing. So the only thing you can really do is speak with your wallet. And what you should do is cancel Disney Plus, first and foremost. What you should do is bootleg the films that you want. Increase that and get interest in those movies around the world. Buy your friend a copy if you need to. The other thing that you should do is post about it. Get people understanding that this is not happening and is something that's important, because you can't watch classic films from your childhood that you loved on Disney Plus or on Netflix or on whatever the A&E streaming network is on 2026. Who gives a shit? Streaming services are screwing everybody over, raising their rates, putting ads and everything, and they don't have even 10% of what they used to. It's embarrassing for what artists have done to create films for the entirety of humanity. It sucks. I've been speaking for too long. How do you feel about it, Anthony?
No, yeah, you have to speak with your wallet. I've been on a sort of revolution kick lately, and revolution means skirting the rules, breaking the law, doing whatever you can. And like you said, the streaming, it's odd that these studios, it seems like they don't give a shit about theatrical. They don't give a shit about home distribution. It all comes down to streaming and then like feeding us what they want us to see. And something else that made me sick to my stomach yesterday was this story about, and who knows if it's true or not, but the band Geese, it turns out that they were a PSYOP experiment where like they blew up out of nowhere at the end of 2025. And that's what I think all of this is. All of this streaming shit is like some sort of psychological thing that these companies are putting us through, and we can make the choice not to play along with their dumbass fucking games.
Yep.
And we're gonna have to break some shit. And that's not to say go steal from small businesses or anything like that. But when we have companies that are eating each other up and then becoming one giant company, we're going to be left with 2 or 3 fucking giant companies that are force feeding us what they want us to see, because they're trying to sell something else. And we don't have to do that. Like, we don't have to be a fucking zombie. We have brains. Like you had a brilliant Facebook post the other day about AI, like so many people using AI just to do menial shit, make your grocery list, write an email, whatever. People aren't using their fucking brains anymore. And like, that is to me so disgusting and infuriating. And so this is a way to use our brains, and we don't have to fucking play their games. I'm with you. Like, go out and support these boutique labels, and watch some shit that actually fucking matters, like real art, not this bullshit that Apple or Amazon or Disney or whoever is like churning out that is completely forgotten about 2 days after it comes out. We can support the small businesses with our dollar, and buy fucking, and like, think what you will, like, yes, it's in a box set of exploitation films. It's also fucking history. Like, a lot of this,
it's also not available on any streaming service,
right? A lot of this has to do with like what happened in the years of lead, right, in 70s in Italy, and the essays and the commentaries and everything involved with this. it was like what we were talking about earlier, reading, biographies just because we like to learn shit. We can buy fucking transfers and learn something. Maybe, I don't know what's on the Tim Thomerson commentary with Charles Band. Well, we probably won't learn anything from them, but it's the news is bad all around, like everywhere, and it's really depressing. So sometimes I just have to like shut it all off and like ignore it, and I think that's okay every now and then, because we're gonna fucking drive ourselves to an early grave if all we're doing is like paying attention to all the bad shit that's happening in the world, all the bad news that's happening in the entertainment industry. So anyways,
speaking of turning it off and not being able to understand everything, one piece of argument that I want to kind of push back on here is I see, and I've already had at least one or two people say it in the chat during this, it's all right, nothing's gonna happen. Sony took over distribution for Disney. What Sony did is they were hired to handle manufacturing. Disney still did everything internally. They chose what to release. They chose what titles to restore. They chose what extras to put on the discs. They chose what art to use. Sony did fuck all except for receive an email and put it on a disc and send it out via their distribution system. While that's necessary, it's not going to mean they can now go out and release Treasure Planet on 4K like you're wishing for. Nothing's going to change on that front. They don't have access to titles. They don't have the Disney vaults at Sony headquarters. They were just standing there waiting for Disney to say, "Oh yeah, we give up. You choose what you want to do." It doesn't work like that. That's not how. I mean, just think about it logically. Disney doesn't want Anthony to buy a Blu-ray. Why would Disney want Sony to release a Blu-ray? Like, of course not. They're not going to bow out and say, "Oh yeah, everybody else can just free reign to put out whatever you want of our titles now."
The other, I saw another argument where someone was saying, well, yes, but companies can still license their movies. Nobody's going to be able to afford that shit to license that, even if they allow other...
Which they haven't been, by the way.
Right.
They've not licensed anything in the last handful of years other than WALL-E, which was personally petitioned for by the director to get it in Criterion. And that's the only one off.
Well, I think the other thing is, like, as an artist... And if you're making movies for the right reasons, which I think is to make art and to like use your voice, you can also, and I'm sorry, like, I'm sure it's hard to turn down that giant paycheck. You can also say, I'm not going to fucking work with these companies. Now, again, I understand like that's coming. I mean, I don't know what it's like out there. I would never want to, have to work in that industry, right, in that way, because, it is cutthroat and sometimes a lot of people end up selling their soul. But I don't know, man, like, again, we're all humans, capable of making our own decisions, and you can say, no, thanks. I just want to fucking make my art, man.
Agreed. Fully agreed. On that front, we got a lot to talk about as far as new art tonight. So let's just get into it. Let's get into some new announcements, get off the negative train. We got a lot of great things to talk about. The last thing I will reiterate, Anthony and I both said it, but continue to support small companies. Let your dollar speak to the right people. I'm close with Third Window for a few reasons. They are a company that I try to buy everything from. And one thing that still guts me is about 4 years ago, height of COVID, a lot of these boutique labels are doing very well because people were getting stimulus checks and people were at home and going, man, physical media is great. A lot of people saw a big rise in sales. Third Window Films in the UK put out a film. And about a week after that film was released on Blu-ray, for the first time anywhere in the world, you Google the name of that title, the first full page, all torrents to download the movie. Not to buy the movie. The entire first page was torrents. It was a mess. That sort of thing sucks ass. So what you can do is buy your friend a Blu-ray player for Christmas. You're looking what to buy them? Blu-ray players are about the same price as a couple meals at a fast food restaurant nowadays. If you're looking to spend $60 on them for Christmas, buy them the cheapest Blu-ray player you can. Get your friends into physical media. Get your friends into something where you can say, hey, every holiday, I'm getting you a movie that I know that you'll like. Every birthday, I'm getting you a couple movies that you always talk about. you have a way to be able to get this done. You have a way to incite change in your friends and your family. Buy your grandma a DVD player. You know she's not going to buy Blu-rays. Make it a DVD player. All right, let's talk about brand new DVDs and Blu-rays because, yes, we are still talking about new DVD releases this week. Anyways, we're starting with Radiance, starting off hot and heavy this week. On July 20th in the UK, July 21st in the US, we are getting a Blu-ray from Radiance of The Boxer from 1977. This is a film by Shuji Terayama that says a former boxing champ on the skids finds an opportunity for redemption by training a young fighter. Everyone judges beyond hope. Legendary director and playwright Shuji Terayama made The Boxer for major studio Toei at the request of lead actor Sugawara. While the story has the studio's trademark gritty 1970 setting, Terayama imbues the film with this characteristic carnivalesque atmosphere. Those are big words together, Fran. Let's back off of that. And his unparalleled passion for sports, resulting in a boxing movie like no other and a unique entry into his own filmography. Well, if it's unlike any other boxing movie, maybe I'll like it more because I don't normally like boxing movies.
Oh, God, me and you, brother. Wow, I fucking hate boxing movies. But I will say, when I was writing for a site a couple years ago, reviewing Blu-rays, I was lucky enough to get a lot of the early Radiance releases. Not a one of them was a stinker, and I think he's kept it up, man. Like Fran's gonna keep releasing movies that we've never heard of, and blind buys, all of them, they're gonna be great, man. Like I don't know, I've loved every single thing I got from Radiance. But okay, two things: boxing movie. And I'm not a huge Terayama fan either.
Ooh, interesting take.
So, like, Fruits of Passion. I really hate Fruits of Passion. But I trust Fran.
That's a good call. On this disc, we have an HD digital transfer. We got an interview with the composer that's brand new from 2026. New visual essay on Toei in 1977 by Tom Mess, who's the GOAT. We've got a limited edition booklet with new writing by Robert Novielli. And, of course, comes in a classic, beautifully designed Radiance package, which is always just top-notch. Them and Deaf Crocodile, I don't think I've had maybe any artwork to ever complain about. So keep it going. This looks interesting. Yeah, maybe one day you and I will go, oh, man, did you ever watch The Boxer? It's the only boxing movie I've loved.
Yeah. Oof.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Next up from them is another big one. July 20th in the UK, July 21st in the US. We've got The Double. This, to me, screams Anthony movie. Is this one that you're interested in?
Yeah, again, I've never heard of it, but I completely trust anything that Fran's putting out. Commentary by Tim Lucas too. You can't go wrong there.
Not only that, a brand new commentary.
Brand new one,
by Tim
yeah.
Lucas. This also has an archival interview with the director and the star of the film. We got an appreciation by another big name, Stephen Thrower. You got new stuff from Stephen Thrower and Tim Lucas on the same disc.
Seriously, like two of the OGs, like when it comes to like I don't know, cult, physical media stuff. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and then a booklet in this with new writing by Nathaniel Thompson, another one of the GOATs in this whole thing.
Wow.
We're going to be talking about him with a very positive bent, I guess is the best way to say that, in a little while. So yeah, The Double. Check that out from 1971. Next up, The Hourglass Sanatorium. This is coming on 4K and Blu-ray only in the UK on July 20th. You'll recognize this title. It was released here in the US by one of the OCN partner labels, I believe, last year. I think that was Yellow Veil, if I'm remembering right. This one is supposedly pretty great. I still have not got around to it, and everybody's going to be upset that I've not, but I've heard that it's amazing. Have you seen Hourglass Sanatorium?
I have not, but I'm down with Polish movies because they're always dark and interesting.
Just like I appreciate dark and interesting. So this one has a brand new 4K restoration from the OCN presented with Dolby Vision HDR. We got a new commentary by Polish film expert Michael Brook, who is incredible. We've got some archival extras. We got an early acclaimed short film from the director. We've got a limited edition booklet with new writing by Ella Bittencourt. And yeah, I've heard this is great. Colton does agree that it was Yellow Veil and says it's an amazing film.
Cool.
I need to see it.
Nice.
And this one, I mean, if you love the film, it is a 4K upgrade. The one released in the US was only a Blu-ray, and I
Cool.
say that it probably looks great still.
Yep.
So don't need to talk down on it. Next up from them, probably the biggest news from Radiance in the last few months even. We've got July 20th in the UK, a Blu-ray coming of Histoire du Cinéma and Other Works by Jean-Luc Godard, which I'm going to piss off more people because the last time we talked about Godard, I've said I had not seen anything from Godard ever in my life, and that is still the case. I don't know why. It's not super appealing to me. The French stuff is kind of rough to get into for me.
Oh, Ryan. Okay. Do you remember when was it? It was probably on when we did the Discoveries episode, but we were talking about I have a hard time getting into what was it? Italian and Japanese movies.
Yep.
But something about the French movies, like man, so into it. And Godard was like one of my early entries. Oh, so they're so beautiful too, man. Oh.
I know. I am a failure to all of cinema, and this channel is now canceled. I get it. So for those that don't know, this is made over 10 years at the end of cinema's first century. Jean-Luc Godard's roving essayistic video project is a multi-layered celebration of the art form's achievements, as well as a raging condemnation of its failure to respond and engage with turbulent times. That sounds incredible by itself, and obviously sounds very interesting. I got to admit, the handful of people that I usually trust about movies told me very extreme things about this over the last week since this announcement. One side, that this is a stone cold masterpiece, that every single minute of this needs to be consumed by everybody that's ever loved film, and you will appreciate it even more. The other end of that spectrum said, this is incredibly pretentious, just absolute drivel. And anybody that watches this and says it's amazing is so full of themselves.
Ooh.
Have you seen this, Anthony?
No, but my God, I want to now. I want to be pretentious and full of my. Oh my God, I want to be that person so bad. Although they're like, I've watched a couple Godards where I'm like, I don't get it. Like Weekend, I didn't get it. I got to go back to it. But so this might be one of those where it's like, whoa, this is way above my head. But I wanna get it just so I can be, that person where people are like, oh, you're full of shit. I don't believe
you. This is going to have all 8 episodes of the Histoire du Cinéma viewable with 2 optional English subtitle tracks, a narration translation, and annotated subtitles by Felicity Chaplin identifying clips and images, which that's really cool that you're given it that double option. Godard's anti-film commissioned for the 500th anniversary of the Swiss city of Lausanne is on here from 1982. Creative partners Godard and Melville discussed their work, co-directed with the Anne-Marie Melville from 1985. Some other handful of archival extras. Godard presents his idea for a 6-chapter feature film from 2024. Godard's final work from 24 is on here. New intro by Michael Witt is here. New interview with Michael Witt. New interview with Godard collaborator Bernard Eisenschitz. Just all kinds of stuff. Of course, there's a new booklet. This is a hardcover release. I mean, this is a big one. For so many people, this is something that they've wanted for a very long time. And I got to be honest, it's quite obvious Criterion probably has the rights to this and will likely come out through Criterion eventually. They're not going to hold a candle to Radiance's release. No matter what, this is probably still going to be the release of this to get.
Yeah. Yep.
Do I have to see this, everybody?
You know what? This probably shouldn't be your first Godard.
That is a good point.
Go easy with like Breathless. I think that there's your in. And then, because I went Breathless and then Weekend, and I was like, whoa, this is way too much.
Yeah.
Had to tone it back. So, yeah, ease into Godard, but I think eventually we're going to have to, Ryan.
Okay. maybe you and I got to cover Godard at some point together.
Ooh.
That's fine. I do like Stan's comment who says, Godard's a weirdo, and I love him. That alone is really fun there.
Hell yeah.
Okay, here's somebody else. The Vid says, Breathless and Contempt are the only Godard films I ever liked. Okay, everybody seems to like Breathless. I get it. People wanting me to see Alphaville. I get it.
Okay, right here and now. Ryan, you're coming on Cult Movies Podcast to talk about Breathless.
Okay.
Right.
I will commit to that.
After the show, we'll set up a date. There
Sweet.
it is.
All right. Next up, equally pretentious, on July 20th in the UK, we are getting a 4K Blu-ray dual format release of Nicolas Cage in Vampire's Kiss from Radiance's Transmission line. This is a film from 1989 that is big. It's got Jennifer Beals in it. This was previously released in the US by, I believe, MVD Rewind and Shout Factory at some point way back when. This is a brand new 4K restoration from the OCN. We got a new interview with the director, Robert Bierman. We got a new interview with the composer, Colin Towns. New audio commentary with Kim Newman talking about Vampire's Kiss. And Nick DeSemlin on this one. We got an archival commentary. We've got Robert Bierman's short film, The Dumbwaiter from 79. And then we got a limited edition 40-page book in this one as well. That is going to have new writing from Julia Armfield and Justin LaLiberty of Cinematograph and Vinegar Syndrome, plus a pull-out poster and 6 lobby card style postcards. How do you feel about Vampire's Kiss?
It's pretty silly. It's not a bad movie, but it's weird. I love reading and listening to people's different reads on this movie because you can take it so many different ways.
Yeah.
This is a weird one to go with. I was not expecting Vampire's Kiss after Stuntman and then Night of the Juggler.
Yeah.
And then Vampire's Kiss. Okay. Cool.
I'm down with it. I get it that it doesn't seem like an obvious choice. I will say this is one that obviously most people have not seen. I don't think that is a shocking thing to say. That being said, it's probably one of my favorite. I don't know. With Nicolas Cage, what do you say? Like one of my favorite 15 Nicolas Cage films?
Sure, yeah.
It's hard because he's done 317 movies, and that's just since 2022.
Right.
But he's got so many roles that are just sort of classic Nicolas Cage. This is one of the ones that I'm like, you know what? He actually went for this, and I like him in this.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, this is something a little different from him.
Yep. I agree. I like their design choice for transmission. I'm not normally one to love packaging that much, but the transmission setup that they've got is pretty sweet. I got to be honest.
Are those?
All right.
Hold on. Are those like hard boxes that they come in, or just slips?
They are hard boxes.
Okay.
It is, I believe it's one of the ones that's like the Vinegar Syndrome one where it's a hard slip case and then the slip cover on the inside as well.
Yeah, okay, got it. Yep. Cool.
What is the best Nicolas Cage performance? Maybe not the best movie, in your opinion. Best Nicolas Cage performance.
Dude. Hold on. Bro. Okay, honest to God. I think it's wow, that's really hard. Bringing Out the Dead.
It's top 5 for me. I won't say it's the best one.
It's the best.
Okay, I forgot. I would say it's the best one. For me, it's got to be. Well, first off, the weird thing is you can't really give one answer for Cage because he's done so many wildly different things. Yeah. So for me, the trifecta of these: Raising Arizona.
Okay. I've never seen Raising.
Oh, do we have to schedule another episode?
Seriously.
Okay, Raising Arizona for comedy. And then just Wild Cage, and because it's Lynch, I have to say Wild at Heart as one of the 3. Okay. And then the big one, you got to have an all-going, full-blown drama. And honestly, I don't think he's touched Pig. I know a lot of people will say Leaving Las Vegas. His emotion in Pig is fucking insane.
Wow, Pig. I haven't seen that yet either.
It's great.
But yeah. I'm a huge Cage fan. Love him. I love him. And when people talk shit about him, I think they only know the memes. Like, they haven't dug into some of the stuff that he's done. And yes, he's done a lot of like forgettable stuff. But he also has done some incredible stuff.
That's another good pull. Terry says Valley Girl. Love that movie.
Oh,
he's
God.
great in that.
That's probably my favorite Cage movie is Valley Girl.
Yeah.
But not the best performance. Best performance is clearly Bringing Out the Dead.
Apologies. First time yet, they announced a second transmission title coming out on the same day. This is 2 Boxes, Televised Terror in Franco, Spain. And this is fucking great. It's got La Cabina and El Televisor. Spain in the early 70s was a country in transition with increasing economic prosperity and the expectations of a growing middle class in direct conflict with the dying Francoist regime, where state surveillance, media censorship, and social control was still the norm. And these are two films that came out during that time. And I love that we've gotten quite a bit of these Franco-era films recently. These are two supposedly really great entries into that. We've got world Blu-ray premiere of La Cabina, HD digital transfer of El Televisor, new commentary on La Cabina with Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton, new commentary on El Televisor with Jonathan Rigby and Kevin Lyons, who are both great, especially when it comes to European cult cinema. We've got new interview with Antonio Lazaro Ribol on horror in Francoist Spain, some archival interviews, and then, of course, a limited edition booklet new writing from Alex Mentabil. I'm assuming, just like myself, you have not seen either of these two films.
No, but I love the idea of, I mean, we love a TV movie.
Yes.
But like a foreign TV movie.
Yes.
Love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and let alone two of them.
This is one of the most super sentences I've heard about either of these two films. Adam in the chat says La Cabina is the greatest horror short film ever made.
Ooh.
That is a lot of praise. I need to see these, I guess.
Yeah. Jeez.
Wow. All right. Well, thanks, Adam. I will be looking into this. This looks like a really fun release. A lot less to say about this because I know a lot less about these guys than I did Nicolas Cage. But again, great art. Radiance is amazing. This looks like a stupendous month from them.
Cool.
Speaking of stupendous, we are looking at a brand new release that is not shipping in a couple months. You can get this right now exclusively from Ronin Flix, MVD Shop, and Oldies.com because I wanted to shine a light on this. I guess a lot of people have not heard about this. All three of those websites are now owned by MVD. MVD fully owns Ronin Flix. It owns Oldies.com, and of course, MVD Shop. It's the same thing. You can now pick up from 1992 the Corey Feldman star vehicle, Meatballs 4. Did you know there were 4 Meatballs movies?
I did know there were 4 Meatballs movies. I thought Corey Feldman was in the second Meatballs my entire life until I realized, oh, there were 4 Meatballs movies and he wasn't in till the 4th one.
I didn't know there was more than 2 Meatballs movies. I got to be honest.
Nobody asked for this.
So this, as far as extras, we have a new interview with the writer-director Bob Logan. Nothing new with the Feldster, for probably obvious reasons at this point.
Thank you, Lord.
I'm very curious to see how this is selling. This is a little over $20 to buy this on Blu-ray. I mean, I don't see this one flying off the shelves, especially because it's an exclusive to those 3 sites.
I think there are 4 or 5 diehard MVD Rewind collectors.
There are.
It was like the people who were diehard Vestron collectors. I think have now transitioned to MVD collectors. Although, like you look through all the MVD, and there's a lot more MVD Rewind releases than one would think, because oh gosh, that's my wife right there. Because a lot of those MVD movies, you're like, oh yeah, I remember like just glancing at that in the video store back in 1994.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm also very curious. I think this would sell better than one would think because of Feldman.
And the Meatballs name, by all means, is going to get some people who have never seen this.
Have you seen the first Meatballs?
Yes, quite a few times. Never seen any of the other ones.
Same. Do you like the original Meatballs?
Like is a strong word.
Ooh.
It's fine. It's not top 50 80s comedies for me.
Top 50?
Yeah, it wouldn't.
Not
at all.
I mean, it might be top 55 for me.
It might be top 50 Bill Murray movies for me.
Are there 50?
Might be.
Yeah, I don't know. That's another one. Like, it's another. because I always thought Meatballs, and I know we're supposed to be talking about Meatballs 4 here, but I always thought Meatballs would be like a sex comedy. It's not as like sex comedy
No.
as you
It should have been more raunchy.
like it's a lot sweeter than I expected. You know, the thing between Chris Makepeace and Bill Murray, and I kind of like that. It's one of my, I usually watch it every year because I do go through, you know, like a summer camp movie phase, and it's one of those where I'm like, I don't hate it. It kind of makes me feel good. Not as good as Tootsie, but
We're going to be talking about summer camp movies later tonight too.
ooh, good. All right.
All right. On that note, that I just completely interrupted you to talk about summer camp movies like you were. Let's leave Meatballs in the dust, like all of the studios have left Meatballs 2 and 3. It seems like nobody has the ability to license those, so we'll see those probably never. Next, Kino at some point will be releasing a Blu-ray of The Atomic Man, which you may know as Time Slip from 1955. This is with Gene Nelson and Faith Domergue. Never seen this one, never heard of this one before this one. Any thoughts? Had you heard of this one?
Never. No.
Wonderful. On that note, let's go to their next who knows when it's coming out announcement, which is El Dorado, coming on 4K at some point. It's a John Wayne movie, which means I was turned off, but it's also a Robert Mitchum movie, which means I was turned on because hello, Robert Mitchum.
You're a man torn.
I am, which let's be fair, John Wayne was torn a lot. This looks okay. I might be interested in watching this one. This says Cole Thornton, a gunfighter for hire, joins forces with an old friend, Sheriff J.P. Hara. I laughed at that name. Or is it Hara? I don't know. Together with a fighter and a gambler, they help a rancher and his family fight a rival rancher that is trying to steal their water. And if you've heard that plot, it's because it's in 114 movies, and that's only from 1966.
Well, yeah, this is a remake of another, somebody help me out here. Yeah,
Rio Bravo.
Yeah, with James Caan as the young guy. James Caan's name is Mississippi. And he wears a really cool fucking hat in this movie. I love El Dorado. It's great.
Nice. I will hope to see this one. Next up, we talked about Severin a little bit ago, and a lot of their box sets have come from one person over the last few years, and we all have heard this name a lot, but you're about to hear some more from Kayla Janice. Kayla Janice is a name in this industry that, if you don't know, you should hear. She has announced that Spectacular Optical Media is now going to be going into distribution, including home video. So reading straight from the press release, Spectacular Optical, the indie publishing imprint of Canadian genre veteran Kayla Janice, has expanded its remit to include theatrical streaming and home video distribution. The new label will distribute a selection of films curated by Kayla Janice with a focus on landscape and design, music and counterculture, and experimental genre works. If you have ever been a fan of Kayla Janice, none of those words should be a surprise to you. The new distribution label will launch this month. Wide distribution of Spectacular Optical's home video releases will, of course, be handled in the U.S. by Severin Films, where Kayla Janice also serves as an acquisitions executive. The company's first release will be Christopher Morris's 2023 film, A Year in a Field, which documents a year in the life of a 4,000-year-old Cornish standing stone. The rollout will include a special Earth Day TVOD release, which will release on April 22nd, followed by a collector's edition Blu-ray. TVOD, which, if you don't know about that, is a transactional VOD, which means it will just go to VOD where you can pay to purchase it or rent it. Spectacular Optical will be partnering with Severin to co-release a new 4K restoration of Waris Hussein's Melody, featuring songs by the Bee Gees. This restoration from the original camera negatives will mark the film's first official release in North America in almost 50 years. The company has also begun restoration on Burt Delling's 1975 Australian underground feature, Pure Shit, for its first ever North American home video release. Depicting 24 hours in the life of Melbourne junkies in search of a fix, the film was initially banned following a raid on the theater where it premiered. Pure Shit is being restored with elements held at Australia's National Film and Sound Archive, which I stood in just a couple weeks ago. It's so weird that I can say that sentence out loud. Spectacular Optical is also handling Andrew Horn's 1984 independent melodrama, Doomed to Love. The film will land its first worldwide disc release with a new restoration from the original camera negatives housed at the Deutsche Cinemathek. Elsewhere, Spectacular Optical has also acquired Paul Wright's folk horror archive film, Arcadia, from 2017. That is a lot of information. Off-the-cuff thoughts. Anthony, what are you thinking?
At first I was like, what? But the more, because I read the press release and I read, the announcements and stuff on the sites, and I was like, kind of a weird direction. But as I read more about the films, it really made sense for Kayla Janice, and a lot of this stuff is like right in line with two books that I'm gonna bring up later. So totally into this stuff, man.
Yeah, this sounds great. This sounds very Kayla Janice. This sounds very the art housey side of Severin. Not like the tits and blood, but more of like the Greenaway or some of the other stuff that they've released. So on that note, I'm excited for this. If you've enjoyed the folk horror box sets, if you've enjoyed the Houses of Psychotic Women, this is probably going to be at least adjacent to your alley. Maybe not up your alley, but you'd probably want to check out a couple of them.
Yes. Yeah. Well, take a chance. 100%.
The music one specifically, I am glad somebody else is putting some thought into, because not enough of those films have had releases.
Yeah.
So yay, Kayla Janice, yay, home video. Keep it up. Man, this is really fun. We get to talk about a lot of antenna stuff every week, and I know that that's kind of self-serving, but hey, I'm excited about it, so why not? We are doing a lot of stuff right now, and I am quite busy. But one of my favorite things is that we are partnering with the Pure Cinema podcast, which, if you've never heard of them, how? It makes no sense. Brian Sauer from Just the Discs, Elric Kane from like 9 amazing podcasts, and a little entity called The New Beverly and Quentin Tarantino came together to make this amazing podcast. We're partnering with them and Brain Dead in LA, which is huge, like one of the more like DIY punk theaters. We're putting on a screening every single month. That is incredible. First thing, May 13th, The Jar from TerrorVision. This is like all of my favorite words all together. Please, if you're in Southern California, go to this. It's going to be a great time. Elric and Brian are going to be there to intro the film. If you've never seen The Jar, this is the 4K restoration. This movie is weird. This movie is like subversive in a few different ways. It is hearing the title The Jar is not at all going to make you think, oh, I know what this movie's about. It's great. Check it out. It's a fun time.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know, I'm a devoted listener to PCP, and I know how much those two love this movie. So very exciting. That's really cool for you guys, Ryan.
Yeah, I just happy to be riding their coattails a little bit. Next up, a box set that 12 people asked for, and they all just graduated high school last week. On June 9th, we are getting an Amazon exclusive 4K Steelbook library collection of every dad's favorite movies. We've got Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Raiders of the Lost Ark, yes, I said that. We've got E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, and of course, the obvious 8th one in that box set, War of the Worlds. Why is War of the Worlds here? Anyways, this is sort of interesting because these are all the 4Ks that we've already had. So, like, if you really, really want the original poster art on Steelbooks, hey, this is your dream release to get all of these, because it's Steven Spielberg, like one of the greatest directors of all time. Cool. But all of us have Jaws, probably 3 or 4 copies of it. All of us have Raiders, probably 1 or 6 copies of it. All of us have E.T. All of us have Jurassic Park. All of us have Schindler's List. 4 of us have War of the Worlds. Like, the fact that this is coming out is very odd. Now, the only thing that I think would have made me excited is if there was 1 or 2 new 4K restorations of Spielberg films in here. I maybe would have considered it.
Yeah.
The other thing they could have done is labeled this Steven Spielberg, the Spotlight Collection, Volume 1. They didn't. You have to get this from Amazon. Already down a peg in my book. You have to get all 8 of these titles if you want the Steelbooks. Down to pit another peg. It's expensive. To pre-order, it's like $200. This is a weird release. The only upside is if you live in the UK, around this time on June 8th, you could pick up just these 4 individually. They've got Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, Jaws, and E.T. all coming out one by one. These are the 4 in the box set that everybody owns the most of, unless it's Raiders. So it's just odd the way they're rolling this out. By the way, if you're in the UK, this to me yells that they're probably a month later going to release the other 4. So if you're after them, just wait a couple weeks. You're going to have pre-orders for those. Thoughts on Spielberg? Thoughts on these films that you've bought 9 times each?
Love Spielberg more than De Palma. I do like all of these movies. I don't mind War of the Worlds. Here's the thing with like the Spielberg boxes that come out, it's like the most random fucking collection of movies. Like
Right.
the one that came out years ago is like, good movies in there, sure. But it's like just random shit. And it's like
Yeah.
these. Also, I'm not a Steelbook guy. So 100% not buying this because of Steelbooks. But also, yeah, I do not own Schindler's List or War of the Worlds, but I own everything else. So it's like, no thanks.
And obviously, that was tongue in cheek. War of the Worlds is like the definition of fine for Spielberg.
Yes.
It's clearly not a terrible movie, but it is no Close Encounters. It's no Jurassic Park.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's like, let's just grab some random movies and call it a Spielberg box set.
Right. And that's the thing. You're calling it the Spotlight Collection. What are we spotlighting?
Yeah. Hello.
I mean, this doesn't cover this covers just a couple decades of his very long career. You could have easily thrown in something from the last couple of years that deserves more of like a, hey, you guys kind of like let this go by you a little quickly. You should take a look at this.
Yeah.
And that could even be West Side Story, which is pretty good.
Yeah, agreed. I like that's the one I was like War of the Worlds, but not West Side Story. That's weird. If we're going with like latter Spielberg, whatever.
Or it's literally called the Spotlight Collection. How do you not put in the Fablemans? Like
right.
that I don't get. It literally was his own spotlight that he made for himself. Anyways,
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Fat Man says, does Universal even have the rights to those? Of course. They couldn't do that publicly without getting sued. They're all working together. It's Warner Brothers and Universal and Paramount all coming together. Universal's in charge of the packaging because they do it great. But that's it. Let's carry on right from there to the next masterpiece from 1999. We've got Notting Hill coming out on 4K from Universal on June 9th. No new extras on here, of course, because they don't do that game. They just put out the same thing with a brand new 4K restoration, which, any thoughts on Notting Hill before I say my piece?
My prayers came true. 4K of Notting Hill. Whew.
Clearly dismissive, but I will say this is a pretty damn good movie. Richard Curtis, amazing writer. This is probably the best chemistry in any Richard Curtis movie. I think Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts in 1999 were made for each other.
Yes.
It's a great movie. Check it out.
Okay, here's why I'm dismissive of Notting Hill. In high school, anytime we ever had to take a fucking charter bus for like band trips, it was always a Julia Roberts movie.
Yep.
It was Runaway Bride, like putting the VHS in for like we'd have to watch Runaway Bride 7 times driving down to San Antonio, Texas. And then Notting Hill, my senior year, like traveling all over the Midwest for jazz band concerts. It's fucking Notting Hill in there. It's like, why are we watching this? It's Notting Hill and Mr. Holland's Opus. That's what we always had to watch. My senior year of high school. You're ruining my life.
Mr. Holland's Opus does not live up to what it was received as at the time, by the way.
Dude, so I couldn't even tell you if it's a good movie or not anymore because I'm so burned out on it.
Mr. Holland's Opus. All right, let's keep going. Next one, the next 4K title everybody was clamoring for, June 22nd. Screen Band in the UK is releasing Rude Boy. This is the Clash film that I've heard nothing but very middling comments on my entire life. So I still have yet to see this. Have you seen this one?
Never even heard of it.
Interesting. So this is a brand new 4K restoration restored by Screenbound, approved by the director. This blends fiction and documentary to follow Ray Ganj, a punk who becomes a roadie for the Clash, set in late 70s Britain, captures the band's explosive live shows, studio sessions, and political edge. Yes, the Clash, the edgy band of the world. Culminating in their legendary Rock Against Racism performances at Victoria Park. You got new interviews with the director, new commentary with the director, classic commentary with a couple individuals from the film. Lots of interviews and bonus tracks on here. No thoughts. I'd be curious to see this, but it seems like everybody I trust seems to dismiss this pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, as a lifelong punk, I think I'm not big on the Clash, and as soon as they got big, they turned into fucking posers. So no thanks.
Yep. All right, next up is Arrow getting into the Shout Factory. I mean, Steelbook came. May 19th, they are releasing Steelbook repackages, both on 4K, of Conan the Barbarian. And then the next one is The Warriors. These are both in the U.S. only. Now, there are no limited editions as far as like the discs and all that stuff. The Warriors, for example, is only the single disc collection, which is what was being released in the standard. So you don't get the director's cut that everybody already hated. So don't feel upset. It is just the theatrical cut. But it's not like the big, you should sell off your limited edition and get this if you're a completist on it. That being said, if you're into steelbooks and you like packages like this, these look fine. The big thing is you can buy these right now. The Warriors limited edition was sold out. The Conan set sold out. As far as I can tell, these are only available at Walmart at the moment, but they're not labeled as an exclusive. Thoughts on the Warriors? Thoughts on Conan?
I love the Warriors. Conan's fine. I'm not a big sword and sandal guy, and it's whatever. I'm happy to say I got these for free when not these reissues, but for free when as review copies when they first came out a couple years ago. So, yeah, gosh, I hate to see this.
I'm not sad or jealous in any way. Yeah, good movies. Check them out. Conan's fun, especially the commentary. Next up, this is kind of an interesting shocker. Magnolia Pictures in the U.S. has acquired Nicholas Winding Refn's The Pusher trilogy, covering from 96 to 2005. This is kind of surprising because they're doing a 4K and a Blu-ray after Second Sight did it in the UK and Umbrella did it in Australia. I think theirs was Blu-ray only. I may be wrong there. That being said, the most surprising thing here is this is a trilogy of 4K movies. You can pre-order this. By the way, it's coming out on May 5th. It's less than $20 right now on Amazon.
What? Get out.
Yeah, less than $20. To me, in 2026, that's good news.
That's wild.
Yeah. I have no idea why it's so cheap, but I would say if you're going to pre-order it, you might want to do it sooner than later because it could be a mistake.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think it is, but it's only like 1975, something like that. It's pretty shocking.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, more Kino goodies. June 9th, they are putting out a Blu-ray of Birds of Prey from 1968. We had this announced previously, but now we got our details on this one. The details being, this is a new audio commentary with Sam Deegan on this one. We got the Studio Canal HD master from a 4K scan of the OCN that was done way back 7 years ago. But now you can get this Lino Ventura release of Birds of Prey, which is a movie that sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, never seen it, never heard of it, but I'm a huge Ventura fan.
I wanted to shout out Ventura because he is I don't think he's ever done a bad role in anything.
True. Yeah, everything I've seen, it's like, yeah, he's a master, man.
I agree, and just like Scimitar says, I will wait until Kino puts it up for $7.99 and promptly purchase it then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The next one for that will be Vertigo for a Killer. This one's coming on June 9th. Again, this was previously announced by Kino. Again, this is an older master done by Studio Canal. Not that old, though. This is from 2023. New audio commentary by Max Allan Collins with Heath Holland from over on Serial at Midnight. Not seen this one, not heard of this one other than the Kino release. Any thoughts on this French flick?
Same. Yeah, never heard of it, but into it.
Sweet. I will do the same and wait for a $7.99 sale per my friend, Mr. Sibiner. Next up, another Kino title. June 23rd, we got a Blu-ray coming of the Texas Rangers. Now, this one sounds like an Anthony movie. Have you seen this one?
What? Why does this sound like an Anthony movie?
Because it's got Fred McMurray, and it's a Western, and it's from 1950. Oh, it's 1936. My bad. This one's a little older.
Yeah, I don't know.
No?
I mean, I like Fred McMurray. I like Westerns. I'm more of an American Western is fine, but I love a foreign Western, love a spaghetti Western, and also like early Westerns for whatever reason, not super my bag.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I won't say that they're more my bag, but they're more my bag.
Really?
Because usually they're like the first time that so many of these tropes were done, and
Yes.
they're a little more interesting in that regard for me.
Yes.
I'm just not super into Westerns unless they were made in Italy.
Are you mocking me?
No, genuinely, I can't stand most American Westerns
Oh, yeah.
at all.
Dude, me and
Like
you,
Rio Bravo, I can't even finish it.
Oh, see, okay. I love John Wayne. I know your thoughts on John Wayne. I like John Wayne westerns. But like a lot of the, I don't know. Yeah, Italian westerns, man. That's the shit right there.
That's where it's at. I mean, my dear friend Hunter Robinson, who runs the Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys
Yep.
podcast, which is great, by the way. Everybody go listen to it.
Yep.
He's had me on there 3 times already, which is hilarious because I hate westerns. But the 2 times that we weren't talking about a modern horror movie on his show, which is a hilarious sentence to say about a western show, both of them were spaghetti westerns because that's my bag. I'm not going to go on there and talk about John Wayne. That's for Will Dodson. So
there you go. Yeah, perfect.
So Texas Rangers, this is a 4K restoration by Universal with the Film Foundation and UCLA. 35 millimeter nitrate silent film grain. I can't read. Nitrate silent fine grain provided by UCLA Film and Television Archives. This has an audio commentary by Max Allen Collins and Serial at Midnight host Heath Holland. Again, we got Toby Rowan on here as well. Seems interesting at the very least. 1936. It's King Vidor.
Oh, well,
Why
yeah.
not?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Moving right along. Hey, it's not Kino finally. May 25th in the UK, we got a Blu-ray coming from second run of The Criminal Life of Archibaldo de la Cruz.
Yeah, they this was recently on Pure Cinema too. The first
It
time I ever
was.
heard about it, but they loved it. I think it was
Yep.
Elmer, probably, yeah.
It's a Buñuel film, which means a lot of people have been hearing about this. A lot of people have not seen this, and now's your chance. This is region free. You can check this out. This has a 4K restoration done by Cineteca Nacional de Mexico. We've got Surreal Frames, a 3-part video series by writer and filmmaker Cristina Alvarez Lopez, investigating the development and key phases of Buñuel's filmography, which that alone sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
We've got film historian David Wilt's visual essay on the criminal life of Archibaldo de la Cruz, Buñuel's annotated personal script of the film, which you can get in your computer, which I love that they're including that. I can't remember the last time we've had a brand new announcement of a BD-ROM content, which is awesome in 2026. And then throwing in a 24-page booklet with new writing by scholar and Buñuel expert Jordi Zifra and Cristina Alvarez Lopez. But yeah, just throwing it out there again. It's region free. Almost everything from second run is. Any thoughts?
I have yet to go wrong with second run. It's another one of those where the blind buys have been interesting, to say, if not great. So yeah, I'm a big second run fan.
Me too. I am very interested in getting their one that's about to come out this month from the Eros film that they're doing. It's a Japanese title. Looks incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, speaking of Buñuel, that was a terrible transition. Reminders of Him from this year, coming out on Blu-ray and DVD on May 19th. This is Tyreek Withers' second film in the last 12 months. First one was Him. This one is Reminders of Him. I hated the movie Him, so I don't need the reminders. This one is what is her name? It is Colleen Hoover wrote the book, and we've got a handful of featurettes on this one, and I'm sure that you're dying to see this one.
Micah Monroe, come on, what are you doing? You were, okay, whatever.
If it sells you on it at all, Micah Monroe and Tyreek Withers showed up in Kansas City 2 weeks before this played theatrically, went to a premiere of the film early, and then went and ate at Joe's Kansas City Barbecue and posted all over social media for the clicks.
Oh boy. Sounds like a PSYOP opportunity.
They're really trying to make Tyreek Withers a thing. Let's keep going. July 7th, there is an Amazon exclusive Blu-ray and DVD coming in the U.S. from Welgo USA of The Butcher's Blade from 2026. Now, this movie sounds interesting. It says, when thousands in disaster relief funds disappear, upstanding Constable Zhu Buyi is framed for the disappearance. Desperate to prove his innocence, he takes a job with the secret squad whose only goal is to serve and protect those who can afford to pay. Forced to choose between his integrity and his freedom, Zhu decides the only path forward is to fight back and hope that exposing these dangerous agents of chaos will be enough to set him free. Okay, it sounds like a lot of films that have come out of that area for the last handful of years. Now, what really gets me here, Welgo USA. I've championed them for years. They are great. They bring a lot of Asian titles to the market that I have really loved. That being said, it's 2026, and when I hear from Welgo USA, it's an Amazon exclusive. What that means to me is it's made on demand, And this title will likely never go under $25. So it's going to be a slightly inferior quality that a lot of people will not purchase simply because it's made on demand and not a pressed disc, which I don't necessarily believe that it's something that we need to worry about too much right now. That being said, the fact that it will always be overpriced for what we're getting with no supplemental extras on the disc is the frustrating part.
Yeah.
I get companies needing to go made on demand because it's a little bit cheaper. And yeah, you might only sell 200 copies of this. That being said, you might sell 3 times that many if you actually press the disc and put it on sale.
Yeah. Wow. God, first thing, Amazon exclusive. That's a big turnoff. I don't like that.
It is a big turnoff, especially when it costs so much more.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't really understand the choices here. Wellgo USA, they've brought some great titles here. Again, they are the ones that we have to thank for many, many things. Like Train to Busan blew up. Obviously, it's a great movie. Would have blown up probably anyways. But we have them to thank for Train to Busan. We have them to thank for The Wailing, for The Burning. Classics, modern classics. Do better. Like, so many of these films could be modern classics, and a lot of people will not take a chance on them because they're overpriced and because they're made on demand.
Yeah.
Let's just make slightly better choices.
Yeah.
Next up, speaking of choices that could have been better, June 30th, Paramount is releasing a standard edition of 1976's King Kong. I had somebody ask, what is the difference between this and the Steelbook that they just released of this about a year and a half ago? The answer is that Steelbook is long out of print, and this will be the way to get the film. 1976, why is this your favorite King Kong?
Oh, no. I've never seen the 76 King Kong.
Yeah.
Why? God.
Yeah, not much to say about this. It's not a particularly beloved film. Most people don't have anything to say about it. But it does have Jeff Bridges. It does have Jessica Lange. And Craig likes it.
Shout Factory put this out, right? Long time.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, they put it on Blu-ray with a 2-disc release with tons of extras, and this
Right.
carries over almost none of them.
Oh my God. Yeah. And is that still available or is that long out of print?
I believe it is still available, but the big thing is people that are 4K only fans, you can't get it because it's only Blu-ray.
Got it. Yeah. Well, poo for you.
Indeed. Let's keep going. Brand new movie. So brand new that the theatrical release starts tomorrow. July 14th, you can pick up a 4K, and I believe that they will be announcing a Blu-ray release. But for now, just a 4K from Magnolia of the brand new Bob Odenkirk film, Normal. This is getting pretty good reviews. We've got Henry Winkler in this. We've got Ben Wheatley directing this, which you might recognize from Kill List, the incredible film. I have not seen this because it's, again, premiering tomorrow. But Normal sounds interesting. It is supposed to be pretty good. I like Ben Wheatley. I liked Free Fire. I like High Rise. I liked Kill List. I want to see this.
Yeah, I'm a Wheatley fan. But it seems like Odenkirk is kind of falling into a latter career. This is what I do now. These are the.
But I mean, keep him in shape. He had a heart attack already on
That's
Better
true.
Call Saul. So
True.
love me some Odenkirk. Let's keep going though. Hey, I love me some Bowie too. The Man Who Fell to Earth is getting a 4K collector's edition from Studio Canal on October 19th. I think that's currently what's listed on Amazon UK. It might be that late. They also might move that up by a couple months because that seems kind of early to announce. But this is going to have a 100+ page booklet. It's going to have more new extras associated with this. It's going to have some posters with this. And they're doing that classic thing of who knows what's actually going to be on the disc? Who knows what's in the book? But you better buy it because this only comes out 6 months from now and it might sell out. Who knows? I hate this predatory type of announcement.
Yeah.
Just tell us what we're getting. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I this is one of 6 in Cult Movies 2 that I haven't seen. Never seen this one.
Ooh.
And I try to watch the films before somebody picks them for the show. So I need to get on this. Probably not with this release though.
I mean, yeah, well, it won't show up for at least 6 months. So, yeah. Next up, oh boy, it is that time. So, Mondo Digital, which is owned and ran by Nathaniel Thompson. I mentioned earlier that he was going to get a shout out and a fun, positive bent. Here is his shout out. He posted a review this week of the brand new release from VCI of The Crawling Hand and The Slime People, a double feature of films that they put out recently. And he shared in his review that, let me just quote it here. Rubber Monsters, Real Fears, Mid-Century Sci-Fi is a 3-minute and 2-second featurette that is AI generated. It offers a quick survey of films. This is not speculation. He says in his review that ChatGPT gets a writing credit.
Get the fuck out.
On top of that, on this disc, the review goes on to state that also included is a 7-minute 50 sci-fi poster gallery, and though you can't access it through the menus at all for some reason, there is one commentary here that you can get to by switching the audio channel on your remote. So they don't even have it on there. Another thing that they advertise on the disc is not actually on the disc. But the thing that I said I was going to share later is that I've got the release here. I got this in this week because I wanted this. Here it is for VCI. I've heard these are both great. I wanted to check it out, had it pre-ordered. Why? Not only did it come out with that featurette written, quote, by AI, but, and this is where I'm going to bring this little announcement down so you can see it, they included an AI art-generated slipcover with it.
No.
VCI is a company that I've laid into in the past a couple times, but I've also defended quite a lot for what they've done for Mexican cinema and the Mary Pickford collection primarily. This is not helping. In fact, this is embarrassing. From what I hear, the two films look quite good. The restorations look good. I've not put this in yet because I just got it in day before yesterday. And this news pissed me off. This is something that came in and I was excited to check out. I'm not now. This sucks. First of all, this art is not like anything that ever would have been made for the Slime People or the Crawling Hand. This is terrible. And if you'll recognize, they did not advertise this slipcover or this art anywhere online. They just shipped the disc with this being the only art for the film, which makes sense. This is timely, regular poster art for these films. Any thoughts, Anthony?
I won't be buying that. I
Lucky?
have seen, I mean, the movies are, you know, they're the goofy Rubber Monster movies from the 50s and 60s. If that's your thing, great. Not my thing, but like, God, VCI, what are we doing here? Like, this is the antithesis of like what these companies are supposed to be doing, I feel like.
I have multiple people asking for this, so I'm actually going to do it. Thanks, Gentry. Gentry is saying, tear this up on the air happily. This is such an embarrassment for home video. This is the kind of thing that deserves this. This is trash. We don't need AI generated. I was thinking of the word Gentry because that's Gentry's name there. AI generated featurettes. This is embarrassing, and the fact that you gave it a writing credit is maybe the most.
That's cringe, man. Like, good Lord.
It's cringe isn't even shaming you enough, VCI. This sucks ass.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm pretty upset about this, which is why, and I normally don't post things on social media. It's just to go, you know, excoriate a company. This deserves it, VCI. This is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Do not buy this release. I also don't normally say that, but do not buy this release. All right, moving right along. This summer, we are getting a 4K Blu-ray and DVD release from Amazon MGM Studios of Crime 101, which I've heard is surprisingly pretty good. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't, but I've also heard, you know, good reviews about it.
I need to see this. Anybody in the chat, have you seen it, please? Because I'd love to hear more about this. Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan, Halle Berry. Halle Berry's supposedly great in this, too. This looks good. I don't like that it's Amazon because it's Amazon. I don't like that there's not going to be a digital copy because they don't care. I don't like that there's not going to be any special features because they have just not been doing that. This looks good.
Yeah. Is it? I mean, is it streaming on Prime? I would assume
it is. I believe Steven donated $20 for ripping up this slipcover. Thanks, Steven. You're amazing. Thomas says it's a slow burn, but a total blast.
Cool.
That is great. And yeah, agree with Stan. Pretty much anything with Mark Ruffalo that's not a Marvel film is
100%. Absolutely.
pretty great.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I didn't say it, I thought I did. A Blu-ray is coming, Eddie, because it's right there. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Check it out.
Also, let's stop shaming Barry Keoghan for his looks because he wants to quit.
And because he left Sabrina Carpenter, or she left him. But either way, like, yeah, he lost out on some things.
He's, gosh. Anyways.
Good actor. Good
dig.
movie, question mark. Next up, in shocking news of the week, Sony said, you know what? Let's just completely miss DVD and Blu-ray. Abandoned Ship is getting a 4K. This is from 1957. You may have heard of this as Seven Waves Away. This is getting a 4K release on June 26th here in the U.S. This is a Tyrone Power, My Zetterling film. Any thoughts? I've never seen this.
Never seen it. Love Tyrone Power. Love My Zetterling. I like ocean-based movies, shipwreck movies. I don't even know what it's about. It looks cool.
Yeah, and this was in one of the imprint Tales of Adventure box sets, and that was, I believe, the first Blu-ray release anywhere in the world of this film.
Okay.
But now, here we are, jumping all the way to 4K.
Cool.
All right, next up. Criterion. I love how we go from ripping up AI to talking about Criterion in a span of a couple minutes. July 7th, we are getting a 4K and Blu-ray release of the recently out of print The Elephant Man from Criterion. Nothing new on the disc because that's how Criterion does it, but amazing movie. Shockingly great film. Check out The Elephant Man. Any thoughts on Elephant Man, Anthony?
One of the two Lynches I've never seen.
Ooh, do we need to schedule another episode?
Seriously, yeah. This
Are we just starting another show?
Yeah, exactly. You're right. And then Inland Empire, I've never seen either.
That one I get. This one it's a lot more. Is accessible even the right word?
Sure.
Inland Empire is not very friendly, is the way
Right.
I will say that.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. I mean, a lot of people have heard of The Elephant Man. A lot of people have seen it. So won't spend a lot of time about that because there's a lot of great stuff coming out this month. This is a huge month. July 14th from Criterion, we get a 4K and Blu-ray release of The Crying Game. Neil Jordan flick from 1992. Any thoughts on The Crying Game?
Never seen The Crying Game.
This is one that I've been meaning to see. I've not seen yet. This one is going to have Dolby Vision HDR, which I should point out. Elephant Man not getting HDR, which for those of you that bought the Studio Canal disc of the Elephant Man, be happy that you already have it because it has HDR and the Criterion one doesn't. So it's a good thing. Crying Game is one that I've heard about for years, been always meaning to see and just have yet to check out. This one has an audio commentary with Neil Jordan. We got new interviews with Neil Jordan and Stephen Ray. We got a making of doc from 2005, alternate ending featuring audio commentary by Neil Jordan, plus essays by Tasha Robinson and Willow Caitlin McClay. Love to see Willow on a Criterion disc. Yeah, I need to see this.
Cool. Yeah, same.
All right. Next up from Criterion this month, the biggie for a lot of people.
Yep.
Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, getting a 4K and Blu-ray disc from Criterion on July 14th. One of the remaining Scorsese flicks that they are putting out. This one also has Dolby Vision on the disc, thankfully. We get an audio commentary with Scorsese, Ellen Burstyn, Jodie Foster, Chris Christopherson, Diane Ladd, and Alfred Lutter. New conversation with Ellen Burstyn and Farron Smith Name. New interview with the editor, Marsha Lucas. A making of doc with Burstyn and Christopherson. And then an essay by Stephanie Zacharek. Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. We finally got it.
Love it. Yeah. I love, Scorsese. There isn't a Scorsese that I haven't seen his entire filmography, but I've liked, if not loved, every single one of his. Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore is one that I've loved. Great flick.
Yeah, we've got a handful that people are really hoping come from Criterion still. If you're looking at what they've put out from him, what do you think is the next Scorsese flick to get released from Criterion?
What's the one right before this? The Harvey Keitel, who's knocking at my door. Did anyone put that out? Is that still?
I don't know if that's even on Blu-ray.
Okay, I it's dark, but it feels like a Criterion to me.
Yeah, it does. My big one, I'm kind of shocked we don't have a 4K of Silence from them yet.
Oh yeah, yeah. One of the Scorsese's I haven't seen, Silence.
Yeah, that's a big one. King of Comedy. Am I misremembering, or is that a Fox title? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know who they'd have to license that from. That's a good idea. The rumor is Cape Fear is supposedly one of the upcoming ones that we're gonna get.
Okay. I mean, I love Cape Fear, but I don't know.
Killers of the Flower Moon was already announced. Mr. Geezy, that's on the way or already out.
Yeah, from Criterion, right?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of people just bought that in the sale. All right, next up, big one for a lot of people, one that I've never seen. Paul Newman in HUD getting a 4K and Blu-ray release. This is coming on July 14th. This one also has Dolby Vision on the disc, which is great. I've not seen HUD. Have you seen HUD?
Yeah. Was this never on Blu-ray before?
Now from Criterion, at least.
Okay.
It might have been from the studio.
Okay. Yeah, this is, speaking of American Westerns, this is, it's sort of like a modern Western, at the time, like a 1963 modern Western. There's cars and shit. But Newman is so good. Like, man, he's really depressive and relatable in this movie.
Nice. I know for a lot of people, kind of frustrated that they got the imprint Blu-ray that just came out in the last year and a half or so. But this looks to be pretty great, actually, because not only 4K, not only with Dolby Vision, you got audio excerpts from a 1974 American Film Institute seminar with the director, Martin Ritt, new interview with Sally Field. Brand new interview with Sally Field, conducted by the author Isaac Butler on Written HUD. New interview with cinematographer Roger Deakins. Roger Deakins, newly interviewed on this, on the DP, James Wong Howe. I mean, this is great. I love that they're doing these. We've got an episode of Inside the Actor Studio, of course, with James Lipton, featuring Paul Newman. That's freaking great to have on the disc. Then we got an essay by author and film scholar Gabriel Miller in a 1963 American cinematographer interview with Howe. I mean, again, I'm not into a lot of these Westerns, but all of this stuff, plus Paul Newman, plus, I mean, Deakins... Like, I need this.
This is yes, it's a Western, but it's so different than what you would think of an American. Yeah.
Yeah, of course Deakins didn't shoot this. That's why I said Deakins talking about the DP. Sibner, come on. Gotta listen. It's not your favorite kind of DP, sorry. Next up. This is from the Criterion Premieres line. This is The Love That Remains from 2025. This is from the same director that did oh gosh, I'm forgetting the other title. Is it Godland that they did just a couple years ago, I believe? Same filmmaker. This is going to include Meet the Filmmakers, the little interview with the director on here, and then Joan of Arc from 2025, a companion film by Palmason as well. This also has a trailer on it. Check this out. Heard this is good. I want to see this. This is just from last year, and yeah, seems to have pretty great reviews.
Yeah, same. When you posted this, did you post this today? Yesterday?
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday. Saw the poster. I mean, never heard of it. Saw the poster for the first time. Love this poster. I think it's awesome. Good. It's so cool. It feels very Yorgos. Feels like a Yorgos poster.
It does.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it really does. All right. Yeah. Everybody just checked on that, and it was Godland that they did. So I'm glad that I have a little bit of a memory left. And then I know for a lot of people, this is a big one too. July 21st, we get a 4K and Blu-ray release coming of Cruel Story of Youth from 1960. This is the Nagisa Oshima film. This one is not going to have HDR on the disc, but this has A Town of Love and Hope, Oshima's first film that they put out. We've got A Town of Love and Hope. Then the short film on this also, Tomorrow's Sun from 1959. We got an interview with Tony Raines, who's always pretty great at what he does. Essay by Chris Fujiwara. Need to see this soon. Yeah. Oshima's done a lot of great stuff. Radiance gave some Oshima love recently, and a lot of people just discovering from them. But yeah, this looks fantastic.
Cool. Yeah, same.
Next up from them, a box set that I was not expecting for a few reasons that we'll get into. July 28th, a 4K and a Blu-ray box set of I'll Remind You of Everything, the films of Mike Mills. This covers 3 films from 2010 to 2021. The 3 films in this are going to be Beginners, 20th Century Women, and Come On, Come On. 2 of those titles you recognize are A24 films. So 20th Century Women and Come On, Come On were both released by A24. They were only released previously when they were partnered with Lionsgate for their releases, and those were only Blu-ray releases. So these are both getting 4K upgrades. Now, I've not seen Beginners. I saw 20th Century Women, and I believe, if I'm remembering right, it's one that I started and never finished, and not because it wasn't great. It's just because I had something else going on and didn't get back to it. I'm a failure. I get it. That being said, what I saw was good, and then we have Come On, Come On, which I loved. Have you seen any of these?
No, and I'm with you. This seemed out of the blue when this was announced.
Yeah, this was not teased. This is not something that I expected, especially getting 2 A24 films in here. That's not unheard of. They've done some A24 stuff before. Think of Uncut Gems, clearly one of the big ones. But this, not super expected. We got new 4K digital masters of Beginners and 20th Century Women, supervised and approved by Mike Mills. New 4K digital master of Come On, Come On, supervised and approved with Mike Mills with a Dolby Atmos soundtrack. We've got all 3 of these with Dolby Vision HDR, audio commentaries in all 3 by Mills, new documentary featuring Mike Mills in conversation with Kirsten Johnson, making of programs for all 3 films, music videos by Mike Mills for Airs All I Need, and Talking Heads, Psycho Killer. We've got additional films by Mills on here. Deformer from 1996, Eating, Sleeping, Waiting, and Playing from 1999, The Architecture of Reassurance from 2000, A Mind Forever Voyaging Through Strange Seas of Thought Alone from 2013, and I Am Easy to Find from 2019. That's a lot of stuff. That being said, they literally left out one of his films. They likely couldn't license it, but it does kind of suck. So if you love Mike Mills, if you've liked some of this stuff, this might be a great time to pick this up. Just remember, you're missing one thing. You might want to go check out that other thing. We got an appreciation on here by Joachim Trier in an interview with Mike Mills about his work outside of feature filmmaking. Lots coming. Recommend this if you've never seen any of them.
Cool.
Great stuff from them. Solid month from Criterion. Overall, I've heard everything from this is the best month they've ever had to very disappointing month. Where are you on that spectrum?
Middling. It's fine.
Yeah, that checks out.
I mean, it wasn't disappointing by any means.
Yeah, I agree. Next, oh geez, I still can't believe I get to talk about this. I'm probably not gonna be able to say this at all without smiling. Okay, so Fangoria broke the news just yesterday that Antenna is already created our first in-house production feature film with a director that I love, Mr. Graham Skipper. You might know Graham from all of his low-budget horror that he's been doing over the last handful of years. He is great in The Leech. He's great in all the Joe Begas films that he's done. He is created a film called Organonym, which I am so stoked for everybody to see. Photography on this one just ended this month, literally going right into editing, and hope to be able to have you be able to see this by this fall. Literally. This was born of a time of very intense personal feelings from Graham. Graham had a giant health scare a year ago. Yesterday was literally the date of his sober anniversary, which congrats to Graham on that front. He's lost a ton of weight. He's gotten healthy. He had all kinds of problems where he was worried about literally dying. And now here he is making a movie about that happening in his life. You're going to love it. It also stars Jeremy Gardner, produced by Chelsea Stardust. Names that I cannot believe are associated with mine on Fangoria, which I can't believe I'm associated with now. This is incredible. Any thoughts before I just break out into song, Anthony?
Yeah, I love Graham, and funny thing was he follows our show on Instagram, and I was thinking, you know what? I love listening to Graham talk. I'm gonna reach out, see if he'd ever come on CMP. But so exciting. I love his movies. That what's the video game one that he
Beyond the Gates.
No. It's gooey. It is. It's gonna come up. Hold on. Director. Oh, Sequence Break.
Oh yeah.
Love Sequence Break. So, anyways, this is very exciting. I'm really happy for you guys.
Please pay attention for more of this coming out. A lot of great stuff here. Incredible score that's going to be on this movie by Van Hughes. Check it out. Lots of stuff to talk about on that front. And I still can't believe I just got to talk about it. Next up, though, more antenna news. We talked about Bluebird on the show before. Poster reveal. I got one of the incredible artists in the game, Lucas Peveril, to make this poster for Bluebird, which I am in love with, primarily because this thing has so many textures in this poster that you will get lost in. This thing in person shines in print. This was the first poster that we had created, and I am immensely proud of it. It is something that I love and cannot wait to see it on the slipcover for our disc. Bluebird will be playing the Phoenix Film Festival this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're anywhere near Arizona, get a chance, go see it early. We're not releasing this in theaters until next year, so you get a really great lead time on this film. Go check it out. It is just starting its run. This will be the second festival it's played. Already gotten some great reviews. Go check out Bluebird. It's a tech-focused, surreal, romantic melodrama horror movie. I could throw in 19 more adjectives because it's kind of a lot of everything. It's amazing.
Cool, very cool. I never noticed the face above the VI, that thing. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
When I was looking on my phone earlier, very cool. Love it.
It is imposing, and when you get it in person, like the detail on this is way more than you can see online.
Cool.
It is an immensely layered poster. Cannot wait for you to see it. But that is it for this week. Instead, let's talk about what's coming out next week, in case you forgot. Speaking of great Criterion releases, Point Blank, one that I'm excited to get on 4K coming out. Send Help coming out on 4K from Fox. One of their last ones, maybe, we'll see. That one is another great movie, highly recommend. 28 Years Later, The Bloom Temple on 4K coming out next week. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Remember, that one got upgraded to 4K. That was only announced as Blu-ray, and everybody started demanding a 4K. I need to get that one. The Ninth Gate 4K from Lionsgate Limited. Sleepers 4K from Warner Brothers. If you want a depressing movie in a steelbook, there you go. Stone Cold 4K from Kino Lorber. Die My Love 4K. If you want another depressing 4K, there you go. The Eye 4K from Arrow Video. We've got the Resurrection release from Criterion, which looks very good. Famous Studios Champion Collection. I need to get that one in. The Grapes of Death 4K from Indicator. The Living Dead Girl 4K from Indicator as well. Primate on Blu-ray. Highly recommend. Fun movie. We've got Romancing in Thin Air from Radiance. Sky Captain in the World Tomorrow 4K Steelbook from Shout. Confessions of a Police Captain from Radiance. House Calls from Kino, which cannot wait for a sale for that one. Art Carney, Walter Matthau, Glenda Jackson, yes, please. Forbidden City 4K from Welgo. The Strangers Chapter 3. Everybody dying to see that movie. I'd wait to not watch it. Hair High from Deaf Crocodile, who's in the chat. You can check that out. We've got a 4K of The House of Seven Corpses from Kino. Vampire Time Travelers from Visual Vengeance. We got Christie coming out on Blu-ray. Girls 4K, the Tinto Brass film from Cult Epics. The Slime People and The Crawling Hand. You should not purchase that one. Just a reminder. The Ugly, like I just showed, we've got that one here. Check it out. You got Howard S. Berger and myself on that one. $1 Million Legs coming out from the studio. We got Mississippi from the studio. Here Comes Cookie from the studio. The Second Twin coming out. A Man Called Blade from Treasured Films. We've got Song of the Miraculous Hind, standard edition from Deaf Crocodile. Check that out. It's a wonderfully beautiful movie on 4K. Jimpa, a movie that I had not heard about till we announced that, and when I saw the cast, I said, "How? That's wild."
Yeah.
Saurians from Visual Vengeance, and then some AI bullshit at the bottom.
Ugh.
Any thoughts on next week? I'm sure you're getting Point Blank eventually.
Yes, Point Blank, 100%. Stone Cold, maybe. Not a great movie, but was one that I grew up with. Brian Bosworth. I had a Boz poster in my bedroom with the rat tail for some reason when I was a kid. So anyways.
Somebody shouting out they have a pre-order in for Hair High.
Nice.
If you're not all about the limited editions and you're fine with the standards, Keep in mind, I'm again not saying support Amazon or anything. They have put Hair High up as a loss leader. That pre-order has been available for $9.74 for the last couple months. And that's not a mistake. They're selling it at $9.74. Go check it out. Support Deaf Crocodile. How much of that are they getting? I don't know. But incredible film. You should go check it out because Celeste Le Cabra, friend of the show, is on there. Great movie. All right. We're here to talk about film reference books for the rest of the night. If that's exciting to you, you're my kind of person. Obviously, the first thing we should probably talk about is cult movies. Danny Perry. Why is Danny Perry so special?
I don't know. So when I heard Bill's interview with Danny on supporting characters all those years ago, I was just I don't know. I felt some sort of like kinship with this guy that was talking. I grew up a huge baseball fan. Danny is obsessed, baseball genius. He knows the history. He's written several books on baseball players. And so there's that. And then I don't know, just he's got a genuine love for movies in general, but sort of the underdogs, and not necessarily like, dirty exploitation flicks, but like, underdogs. At the time when they came out, they were underdogs. A lot of these now are like fucking huge. But I don't know. There's just something about his demeanor that I sort of felt through my earbuds listening to this guy. So I went and found on eBay all three of his cult movies books. And so I bought them. And at the time they were, anywhere between like 10 and 20 bucks a piece. If you can still find them, I think they'd be, a
stack fell over because I moved a book.
Oh no.
Oops.
Anyways. And so then, Pure Cinema started like very shortly after that interview. And of course, Brian and Alaric love Danny, and that was sort of what brought them together at first. Yeah. So it's like, oh gosh, this guy's just, obviously cool people know who this guy is and love him. And so because of him, I've gotten to meet some pretty incredible people. When I got to talk to Larry Karaszewski several years ago, and just talking about our love of Danny Perry was incredible. Anyways, so like, I started with, I got my Danny stack here. I started with the cult movies books. 1, which has 100 movies. 2, which has 50, which is what we're doing right now. 3, which we'll do shortly after. And the way he writes about movies was exactly how I wanted to read about movies. Yep. He doesn't love every movie he writes about, but he doesn't shit on them.
Correct.
And that's what I want, because like I grew up, Roger Ebert was our syndicated critic. And so I grew up reading Ebert, and I love Roger Ebert, terrific writer. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but he could be really hurtful sometimes. Anything I've read from Danny, it's never hurtful. I might not agree with some of the stuff that Danny says, and we joke about it on the show sometimes. It's like, Danny, are you kidding me? Like, what movie were you watching? But he's never hurtful toward actors or filmmakers, and like he's never snarky, and I fucking hate snarky criticism. That's cheap, and it's do better. And that's what a lot of critics do nowadays. And it's like, come on, just stop what you're doing, because it's not worth it. Anyways, so then I discovered, other books that he wrote. Of course, the guide, Film Fanatic, is huge, but he's got Cult Movie Stars and Alternate Oscars, which are really interesting. Alternate Oscars is exactly what it sounds like. He goes through a certain period of time and says, okay, this is who won, but this is who should have won, right, for each category. And it's totally his love for movies, movie stars, crew members, and he gives due, like in all of his essays. He lists out, not just writer, director, stars. He lists out. He talks about all sorts of stuff. And he's also, and the way I introduce the show every week or every episode is, I call him an historian, because not only is he a critic and an essayist, like he really does some research for each of his essays. And all of these were written back in the 70s and 80s. But you could tell he read up as much as he could on each of these things. And I have, again, going back to like that knowledge, I have learned so much film history just from Danny's essays and his love for movies. All of that said, I had done, some podcasts long time ago. I did a horror show. I did a filmography show. And then I was like, I want to do something that is finite, because it's scary to me thinking, oh, I could do this show forever and ever and ever, like The Disconnected, and there's no end in sight. So I was like, what if I just did a show based on Danny's book and the movies that he wrote about, and that would give me an end game. And so I went through, in 5 years, went through the first book, did all 100 movies. And then I was like, okay, we're going to keep going with book 2. And then we tried that, and I was like, oh God, this is too much. I can't do it. But start, stop. And then earlier, it was around Christmas time, I was texting with my friend Matt Bledsoe, who used to have a show called Film Feast. And we had started our shows around the same time, right in the height of the pandemic. And it's like, we need to do something. We need human connection. And that's what we always talk about. That's why we do this. It's not just because we love movies and books and all this stuff. It's for human interaction. That's why I love this. And so I missed all that when I wasn't podcasting. And Matt and I were like, you know what? It'd be really nice to do a show with somebody, because it would alleviate some of the pressure. Yeah. And also, we don't have to do a weekly thing. We could do it bi-weekly. And you know what? If we miss one of the bye weeks, then, oh, well, it's not the end of the world. So anyways, we restarted together, and it's been great. He and I have such a great relationship, great rapport. He's funnier than shit. He's one of my favorite people to talk to. And so it just made sense to reboot this show, do it together. And we're going to finish book 2 and 3, power through. There are some movies that, we don't want to talk about or don't like, but hey, them's the breaks. You got to get through it. We talked about Pretty Baby earlier this year, and we weren't looking forward to it, but it was a great conversation, and I actually ended up liking the movie. So anyways, I've gotten to meet, doing a show like this, you've gotten to meet so many awesome people and develop friendships and relationships with people. And that's what it's all about for me. So.
For those that have never heard Anthony's show, Cult Movies is great. Not only do you get to hear Anthony, you get to hear people like Heather Drain. You get to hear people that you've heard on many of these discs, many people from other podcasts, many people that are critics themselves, many people that are passionate about certain films, and many people that are seeing these films for the first time and speaking on them from a very different set of experiences from yours. But really, the thing that this show will do that might piss you off because the books are out of print is you're going to hear the show and immediately go, well, I have to buy the books, clearly. And you'll go find them. And if you be just slightly patient, you should be able to get all 3 of them probably around $20 to $30 at the most. Like, just be slightly patient. You'll be able to find them, I promise.
Yeah.
And then you'll find Danny Perry is great. And not just for everything that Anthony was just saying, but there are a lot of film reference books that are just a list of films with a very short paragraph of what the film is about. And Cult Movies kind of can come across as that if you very surface level take the book at like what it could be. But Danny Perry is just so accessible that in a very like undercover way,
Yeah.
you're getting so much more than that, even though it kind of just feels like that. So this is one of those books where if you recognize the title and you go to Cult Movies 2 and it happens to be in there and you read about it, suddenly you've read 9 pages and learned way more about 4 movies than you ever expected to. And you go, oh, I've only ever heard of one of these and I have to see all 4 of them now. And he's just that magnetic about the way he writes. And what's funny is out of those 4 films, he didn't even like 2 of them, but now you have to watch them.
Right.
And it just comes across as this very simple way to learn what exists. It is all about accessibility. It is all about knowledge of the film. It is not about ripping into anything. And fully agreed with Mr. Fat Man in the chat. Libraries are great. Go see if they have them. Not all of them do anymore, but many of them do. So go check it out. Danny Perry, though, both of us could have easily picked 3 of his books tonight to talk about. So we said, you know what? You talk about Danny Perry so much. Let's say no Danny Perry books, but let's pick 5 of our favorite film reference books. We each probably had our own set of criteria. My big thing is I'm kind of trying to go for ones that I don't hear people talk about all that often.
Yep.
And so I could have picked 4 from Stephen Thrower. I could have picked 2 or 3 from Troy Howarth that I go back to quite often. I could have picked all of Kayla Janice's books. Those get talked about in a lot of ways. I said, you know what? I'm only going to pick one Stephen Thrower, and I'm going to talk about it first, and then I'm going to try to go a little more obscure. So let's break into it. If you had any criteria you want to share, go ahead and share it, and then share your first title.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I have a giant library of books, lots of biographies, and I didn't want to bring biographies to the table. I also didn't want to just bring like film guides. Film guides are great. I don't want to bring any just in case they do come up, but the like ones with just lists and capsule reviews of each, those are great. I love those. But the ones that I picked here are a little different. So I'm going to start with, so we talked about biographies, but here's one that is a biography, but goes through this man's filmography and all of his television appearances. And it made me love him so much that he became my favorite actor. It's Wildcat, the films of Marjoe Gortner by the great John Harrison. One of the Melbourne crew out there. Yes, this is a biography on Marjoe, but John also goes through, like, each chapter is a extensive review and summary of each of his films and TV appearances. And I read this before I dove fully into Marjoe's filmography, and it made me appreciate it more. There's one Marjoe movie that I don't like, and it's one that most people do like. And so when they hear that I don't like it, they're like, what's wrong with you? It's Star Crash. I don't like Star Crash. I'm not a big sci-fi guy, but there are so many unknown or forgotten Marjoe movies, a lot of made for TV films. Yes, Marjoe Gortner is my favorite actor, believe it or not. He's not the best actor, but he is one of the most charismatic people I've ever seen on film. Start with, if you haven't ever dove into Marjoe, start with the documentary called Marjoe, and you're going to learn about this dude's incredible upbringing as a child preacher on the kind of Southern Baptist, not Southern, what do you call that? With the revivals and shit, the tent revival. Yeah. But this film crew follows him, and he reveals it's all fake. We're just actors, like everybody. We're just money grubbing folk. And so after that, he gets into Hollywood and becomes an actor. And like, God, he's got such great screen presence. And all of his movies are so entertaining. Even the ones you've never heard of. So anyways, Wildcat is great. John is such a great and like John's and like Danny, John loves Marjo, and it comes through in this book. And again, John doesn't love or like everything that Marjo's done, but he writes about it with love. So get the book, but dive into Marjo's filmography because it is fascinating.
Good pick. Not a book I've read or touched, even seen in person. So that's a solid call out. This next one I fear is going to be my most accessible one that people have already seen. So I'm going to lead off with this, and it will get a little more obscure, I promise. But Stephen Thrower. So most of us that are in this world have read multiple books of his, or own multiple books of his and have not unwrapped, or have loved many features that he's worked on. Whatever. Stephen Thrower is kind of one of the gods of film reference books. He's incredible. He has been exhaustive on Franco, on Fulci, and on another piece that is probably the book that most people have from him because it was in print for the longest. And the one that I feel like people have forgotten about a little bit is this gigantic Nightmare USA. This book is huge. I'm 6'5", and this is dwarfing my giant fucking head. So Nightmare USA is kind of the one I was talking about earlier, where kind of like Danny Perry stuff, you open it up and it's a list of titles with a little bit written up on each title, except it goes so much deeper than that. There's so many pieces here that it's the index alone is a really great film reference that you can be like, oh, let's find all the different ways that this random title from Italy from 1971 is attached to every other movie ever under the sun. Nightmare USA is one of those where if you are starting research on a project, it's kind of the first place that you turn to because it's going to tell you all of the other ways that you should start researching. It is absolutely incredible. It is something that if you were following physical media in 2021 through 2026, it's kind of like imperative that you have it to do any sort of like educated buying in any way. But I mean, for a lot of people that are working on supplements or writing about film or running a magazine and trying to fact check people because you don't want to print something absolutely idiotic every month, Nightmare USA is the go-to for me. It is something that is off of my shelf quite often. It is something that I go to way more than almost anything else. And based on that, I had to include it because most people that talk about Thrower, again, it's Franco, but he has been so much more than Franco. And agreed with Ronnie, I would love people to have those Franco books, and it sucks that one of them alone is like $450 in 2026 on eBay. So I want to say check it out. I believe Nightmare USA can still be had for pretty inexpensive. It's like slightly under $100 usually, and it's way worth it. It is a giant freaking monster of a book that you could use as a murder weapon.
Yeah. I've at the bad place. It's $50.
Oh, see, there you go. That's pretty inexpensive for a very long book.
What, like 550 pages or something like that?
It's at least,
huge. Yeah.
I've not looked at the total in a long time.
Yeah, that is. God, look at that fucking thing.
530-ish.
There you go. Okay, nice. It's my birthday on Monday, so maybe I'll treat myself.
$50 is not bad.
Not bad. Yeah. My wife will be like, "What? You think you're worth $50?" No, I'm joking.
She told you couldn't buy the AI movie. You can buy that book though. You have my permission.
She's like, you should buy I was talking about an expensive hockey helmet. She's like, yeah, it's like almost $300. She's like, yes, of course, it's your birthday. $50 book. She'll be like, okay, is that what you want? Okay. Okay. My next one, I'll call back to when we were talking about Kayla Janice's new home distribution label, how she's kind of getting into sort of the art is like the first film about the fucking year in the life of a rock.
Yeah.
Right up my alley. Like for real. It sounds so fascinating.
A Cornish rock, by the way.
Yeah. Because of Jonas Mekas. I picked up Movie Journal, The Rise of the New American Cinema, 1959-1971. It's a basically compendium of his articles that he wrote for the Village Voice. Jonas Mekas was the critic for the Village Voice, along with Andrew Saris. Andrew Saris reviewed all the popular stuff. Jonas Mekas went to all the art houses and the avant-garde shit and reviewed that stuff and promoted it. And so I picked this up, and it is fascinating. It makes me wish that I was alive in New York City at this point of time, because there were so many interesting things happening in these theaters. I'd say almost half of what Jonas writes about is probably lost to the sands of time. But it's all, very arty, avant-garde, mostly non-narrative stuff. But I find that stuff to be utterly fascinating. And when I talk about going out and making your art and fucking whatever the company says and saying, no thanks, I don't want the big paycheck because I need to make my thing. That's what Jonas Mekas did as a filmmaker, and that's what Jonas Mekas wrote about as a critic for The Voice. The films are yes, weird, but utterly fascinating, and for me, so inspiring, because you're watching true artists go out and just make their thing. Whatever they see, whatever they wanted to make, whatever they're visualizing, they made it. Like Stan Brakhage. The guy fucking took little film strips and scratched them and colored them. And I am obsessed with Brakhage. I could sit down and watch hours and hours and hours of those, 60-second shorts of the film strips that Brakhage scratched up, and it's so hypnotic. That's the type of stuff Mekas wrote about, and so that book really opened my eyes.
That's a great choice. Yeah, the art house side of things and just explaining mediums is something that a lot of these books, that the ones that even attempt, they can do it well, but a lot of them don't even try because it's a lot to break through, and so they just rather talk about the film rather than the medium. Anyways, one that well, I guess I should say a genre film reference book that I always love. It's great to see somebody that has learned a lot over their life. It's great to see somebody that has put exhaustive, educational leadership into some of these books. But the kind of book that I really like is finding somebody that is so steeped in a culture that they grew up with a set of films. They grew up with a genre. They grew up with a filmmaker. They grew up with somebody and said, this is my identity and I'm going to live here for the rest of my life. And you find a critic like Odie Henderson, who has always been able to speak on blaxploitation in such a unique way. I wanted to share Black Caesars and Foxy Cleopatras. This is a book that I wanted to learn more about blaxploitation, and happened to search up what is the definitive book on blaxploitation. Got this recommended me. Went and looked on Amazon, and the reason I'm talking about this one, and it's still cheap-ish, but it's not what I'm about to say. I got this thing originally on Amazon for $6, and this is a hardcover book, and it is 300 pages almost.
Wow.
And well written. Odie Henderson is a wonderful critic. He's got the history. He's one of those people that you can tell he's talking about a movie that he's seen 143 times. He could probably write this long of a book on each of these films. But to talk about the redemptive qualities of blaxploitation, of how it's not exactly exploitation in the way that we had cannibal exploitation thrust upon us. It's not the kind of exploitation that is exploitative of the Black audience necessarily, but it's the sort of thing that said, we're just making art, and because it's leaning into a trope, it's going to be thrown into that sort of thing. Right. But when you hear about all of these films, Pam Grier for an exhaustive amount of pages, you hear about artists that have been involved in this genre that were not brought up in blaxploitation, that were sort of co-opted by the genre. You learn about people that are writing in a way that is critically, even bad publicity would be better than some of these things, just critically ignored for
Sure.
decades and passed over. And you get somebody like Odie Henderson talking about these for 20 pages, and you say, this is maybe one of the best movies that I've never even heard of. How is that possible? And then you immediately go watch it in a brand new 4K box set from Shout Factory, and you're like, what the fuck? How is this so incredible? It is absolutely worth your time. It's $15 on Amazon right now if you're into this. Blaxploitation doesn't get enough love. The amount of times that we've gotten, like, again, we talked about Kayla Janice multiple times tonight. I love folk horror. I love the box sets. I love the documentary. Love it all. We need a lot more of that stuff for Blaxploitation.
Yep.
We need a lot more of that stuff for Pam Grier, for Larry Cohen, for a lot of these people that don't get the love that they get. Please, Odie Henderson, lead the way. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree. You know, I got the Volume 1 Shout Factory Blaxploitation set, which is great. Glad I own those movies. Yes. But there's nothing in there, right? Right. Not a lot of supplements. Is that right?
I mean, there's commentaries. There could be a lot more, is the best way to say it.
Right. Yeah, I was expecting a lot more, but you know, that's what I get when I expect things like that from Shout Factory.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna stay in New York City. And
sweet.
Artisan, okay. It was a reference book.
Sure.
Okay, staying in New York City, in the 70s and the 80s, and talk about exploitation, grindhouse, real scary part of town. It's Sleazoid Express.
Solid choice.
Totally obsessed with Bill Landis, another guy who I love his writing. He can be a little more hateful than Danny Perry, but he's never snarky. Like, he's genuine in his disdain for usually like populist art.
Yeah,
he is into like the fucking down and dirty, grimy fucking movies, which I love. And I'll be one of the first, not one of the first, I'll be one of the millionth to say a lot of these movies, not good.
Yeah.
But it's another one of those things where it's like, here's fucking artists out there, just, they're making their thing. So anyways, from Sleazoid, I got so many names and films that I had never heard before. And like so many filmmakers that I went and just dug up their filmographies. And, you know, God bless YouTube. You can find so many kind of lost and forgotten films out there because of, you know, the saviors out there just putting this weird shit, forgotten films out there up on YouTube. But anyways, Sleazoid is so brilliant. It's a great kind of time travel, what do you call it, a time machine. Good God in heaven, it's sort of like it's a great time machine to take you back to that time period, and like you can visualize, talk about smell, like you can smell the fucking dirty streets, the gutters. It's great. And then the other thing is, somebody also put up a PDF of the entire run of the original Sleazoid Express zine that Bill did up online. So anyways, just, you know, again, this guy loves what he loves, and he writes so well about them.
Yeah, love this one. This is one that I had in my stack that I almost chose for tonight, and I had a feeling you might, so I set it to the side. This is a solid choice. If you've not gotten this, never thumbed through it, it's kind of like a thrower. It's like an absolute must.
Yeah. Yep.
Earlier tonight, we were talking about camp movies, and this next one is a book that I kind of found myself understanding that the only things that I'd ever seen from a very specific genre are just the biggest names. It's not something that I'd ever driven further than the surface level on pretty much anything, and then realized just how big the 80s were as far as these types of films. And this one, of course, sad story because the author is now gone, but it's Mike McBeardo McPadden's Teen Movie Hell. I'm glad that you were going there as well. This book, it's so weird to start on this one because this is another one kind of like Nightmare USA for me, that I'll look up one film and discover 14 that I'd never realized existed on the way to that one film. And it's something like Heathers. I think that was the last one that I looked up in this. Is I wanted to go for Heathers to find out something, to see what Mike had written about it, and found like these other like Heathers clones or things that inspired Heathers, or the spider web of this person got Heathers because of these 3 other movies. One of my big discoveries for last year with Christian Slater, we had talked about on your show when we did discoveries this year. And so for me, that came out of this. I mean, obviously I'd seen the Warner Archive announcement and all that from a couple years ago, but this book specifically attaches so many teen movies that just opening this now, there's 5 titles on this random two page spread. I've heard of one of these 5 titles before this moment. And I've maybe read about one of them before, just completely forgot about it. But he breaks down so many, primarily from the 80s, that the 80s were so big on random Breakfast Club ripoffs or Revenge of the Nerds ripoffs or all these things. But most people have only seen Revenge of the Nerds and Breakfast Club and not the 83 others that are stylized like that in many cases are so much fucking better because they're unique in a random way, or not beholden to making this one big name in the movie happy or got pushed by a studio, and they're just unique and special. And man, if you want somebody fun to write about films, it doesnn't get much more fun than Mike McPadden,
dude.
I'll let you speak on this one for a minute because obviously you were ready too.
Yeah, well, no, this was in my
honorable mention stack. Nice
mention stack. So, man, I am constantly re-listening to Mike's old shows. When he and Ben started 70 movies we saw in the 70s, and with Aaron Lee in anyways, I don't know, man, like he's so fucking smart. Mike is, and just he's got sort of like a steel trap memory, like the shit that he can recall when he first saw these movies is insane to me. I wish
for movies that only Mike and 12 other people in the world are the only that ever saw them.
And so I have not read heavy metal movies, but I picked up Teen Movie Hell when it first came out, and it was just, I don't know, it's brilliant. And you're right, it's like, here are the big ones, we know the big ones, but then here are 12 others that you've never heard of, and 10 of them, maybe 5 of them are terrible, 5 of them are fine, and then there's 2 more here that are you've never heard of but are brilliant. They're real gems. And so I love books like that where yes, here's the one movie we're talking about, but then here's 5 others.
It's great. Absolutely one that you'll find something guaranteed that you've never heard of, and that is now one of your new favorite movies.
Yep, 100%. Yeah. He's one I regret that I never got to talk to. But his writing and his voice still lives out there.
Him and Sergio Mims, my big misses.
Poor man. Yeah, for sure. Okay, here is one that I got because we had the author on the show, and the publisher sent me the book, which I usually I don't like a lot of that because it's like, okay, here's you got to do the interview and blah blah blah
Right.
blah blah. And with this wonderful woman, it was not like that. She truly loves cult movies. Her name is Millie DeCherico. She wrote a book called TCM Underground, RIP TCM Underground, with Katoya Murray, and they split the duties for 50 movies, and they just go back and forth. Each of them pick 25 and review movies. I love how the book is broken up. So they have like their first section, and it's kind of it's built like Danny's Cult Movies books, where it's a movie and then they write a multi-page essay about the movie. But they have sections basically, and so like the first section, it's crime time. And so they write about Across 110th Street, Friday Foster, I Saw What You Did, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, The Harder They Come, The Honeymoon Killers, Silent Partner, Shack Out on 101. Shack Out on 101 was that 3 years ago or 4 years ago, one of my discoveries of the year because of this book.
Yeah.
And they have Domestic Disturbances, Visual Delights and Other Strange Mind Melters, Rebellion and Youth Movements. Millie's the best. She's so fucking funny. She's brilliant. If you haven't heard her other podcast, listen immediately. She's so great. And she introduced me to Ben Cheeves, and Ben still works at TCM. He's a programmer at TCM. Ben is the best. Anyways, I love this book so much.
Good choice. I've heard nothing but great things about this one. Millie's always great, and I still need that one. I need to do it. This next one is such a switch up from my last couple picks that I fair warning, this is going to feel like literary whiplash, I guess. One of the big things is most people, especially if you're male and white and stuck in an edge phase for some part of your life, you go through that phase of the extreme glacier of I was shown Faces of Death by somebody's stepbrother, and after that I saw Cannibal Holocaust, and I went, oh, those are nothing. What else can we see that's way more depraved? And along that way, you see a lot of shit. You see a lot of terrible movies. You see a lot of things that you say, why is this a movie? And one of the things that I discovered over the years is that there are a lot of times where I saw a couple films that everybody online seemed to hate or think were trash, or it's smart people call it subversive because it's just something that they made to be better than you or something like that. And I always hated hearing that shit. And one of the things I wanted was a way to be able to defend why things like the Blair Witch Project or even like Nightmare on Elm Street are important pieces of cinema, and not just the marketing was good in both cases.
Sure.
But the real question is, how do you do that with shock cinema? How do you do that with the Mondo documentaries? How do you do that with random French serial killer movies? How do you do that with the French extremity movement? How do you do that with all these things? And one of the people that helped with that is an author named Phil Russell that is incredible. And everybody needs this book, which is Beyond the Darkness, Cult Horror and Extreme Cinema. And it is, if it is on the table right next to you, that is amazing.
No, it's
okay.
not. I've never even heard of this book.
So this book is divided into a handful of sections, and it is so cool because a lot of my favorite film reference books are my favorites for a reason. And this book kind of mimics all of those in a weird way. So it has a section just on reviews. It has a section that's like a list of films. It has a section that's on genres of films. It has a section on film censorship and is it still relevant? It has sections on all these things. And it is such a well-written divide into modern film and classic film and everything depraved in between. I mean, even like Yorgos Lanthimos stuff is covered. Even that's how modern it goes. So it's a really good way to vocalize and shout from the rooftops that the French extremity movement is important. And those types of positive critiques on film that is such an immediate turnoff for a lot of people is very important, because for a lot of people, if you watch a film and it feels personal to you, you should be able to speak on it. But when you watch something like Inside and it's just a baby getting ripped out of somebody's stomach, and you walk away going, oh man, that felt sort of cathartic. That can be very hard to verbalize. That
Yeah.
can be very hard to explain why you felt like you got something out of that.
Yeah.
This book does a really great job of sort of holding your hand and explaining why they're important. And I
Uh-huh.
hope people check it out.
Oh, that is fascinating because I've tried to explain why I like some of these movies to my wife,
Yeah.
to other people, and they're like, I don't get it. And I'm like, I don't get it either. Like, I don't know how to tell you that. It's not like I sit there and, you know, I'm getting off on it or like I'm laughing hysterically about this depraved shit that I'm watching. But, you know, like, for instance, when I tell people Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer is one of my all-time favorite movies, or Irreversible is incredibly rewatchable to me, people are like, how can that
Yeah.
be? And I'm like, I don't know, because I think those are two brilliant fucking movies.
Yep.
They're very well made. The stories are incredible. I don't know, but there's more than that. It's
Yeah.
more than just watching a movie. It's how I feel, and it's not like, you know, a gross thing. It's I don't know. God
Yeah.
damn it, I need to buy this book and figure out what the hell's going on.
And again, like we talked about Serbian film earlier when I talked about Unearthed Films. This is the book that I was talking about that references it because, of course, it's a protest film. It is made for
Yeah.
artistic merit. And when
Yes.
you watch a Serbian film, and there are lots of people out there that go, "Oh, you like that movie? You're disgusting." You're not. Other people are going to like other movies, and that's okay. But if you want to be able to verbalize why, this might be able to help you a little bit.
God, all right. Happy birthday, Anthony. Okay, my last one. I am currently reading. and
Nice.
This is gonna show you why I've been watching all the movies that I've been watching. Sam has been on my show multiple times. She's just the best. Sam Deegan, that is. Incredible writer, incredible podcaster, one of the smartest people you will ever read or listen to. I am currently reading Revolution in 35 millimeter, Political Violence and Resistance in Cinema from the Art House to the Grindhouse, 1960 to 1990. She co-edited it with Andrew Nettie, who is a brilliant queer Australian author who has written so many books and edited so many books. This is a collection of essays, mostly from Andrew and Sam, but you have some written by I just recently read the one by Christos Tsilokis about Greek stuff. Scott Adelberg, Uday Badia, Charles is in here. Yeah, it's so inspiring. My God, dude, like
Quite
this-
timely, eh?
dude. This is okay. Making me want to watch a lot of movies, but also like fucking pumping me up and like pissing me off. And it's like,
Yep.
We got to do something, you guys. We have to do something. So right now I'm just there's a Andrew curated a list of all the movies that they wrote about, and it's on his letterbox, and so I liked it, and so I'm just kind of going down the list from the top down. And it's starting with a lot of the, you know, spaghetti westerns and Zapata westerns, which are great. But this is a absolute must. You have to fucking read this. I mean, if you have a soul and you're affected in any way by the world that we're living in right now, and you love movies, you got to read this fucking book.
I have not finished the book yet. It is a very inspiring is a really great choice, but it's a book that also conjures up a word that is frustrating is probably the easiest way to say it. Is that so much of this we've been fighting for fucking ever. And the fact that we're still fighting it is so aggravating. This is going to sound like a very privileged thing to talk about and complain about, but I was producing a disc for a company that I wanted Andrew to write about because he's incredible and he was the perfect voice. And he happened to be, I believe, moving or something like that right as that we had a very short timeline. And he's like, I just can't do it by then if we need to do it. And then I was like, well, maybe I can get an extension. I went back from the label. And not only could we not get an extension, they even ended up pushing it up sooner. So there was like no possible way we could do it. And I just went, this film is never going to get another release. And Andrew was the right person to talk about this. And because of the timing, we won't get the perfect release for this movie. And that alone just made my heart twitch a little bit and be like, fuck, we could have done something really, really special.
Yeah.
And instead, we only got something really special.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, gosh, man, it's my friend Matt Clark from Minnesota, Kino Ventura is his handle all over socials.
He's great. Yeah.
Great writer. But he was right. He said he immediately got it and like just read it straight down. And I'm like, I completely get it. And the bad thing is like, I read right before I go to bed. This is a tough book to read right before I go to bed because I'm like, I'm fucking pissed.
It's true. It's true.
Okay.
If you want an easy one to read before bed, my last one is a fairly easy one to read. And I kind of like the one that you just brought up a little bit ago. I had somebody on the show, and I'd had this book for years, so I did not get it just because he was coming on the show. But this was fairly recently. Just last fall, I had on Mr. Austin Trunick and had to share the Canon Film Guide. This is Volume 2, which I think is the better one. Volume 1 is Volume 1 is great, but Volume 2 to me has the one that you go to more often because so many of the films in this era that he was writing about specifically are the essential Canon films for me.
Oh, okay.
It depends on you as a fan for
Sure.
Canon films, and eager for part 3, Austin. Just get it out there. Just saying, we're all still waiting. Come on, TikTok. It is a thick boy, like Adam is talking about. This is, God, what is this, like 700, 800 pages?
Oh my
like
God.
No, it's almost 1,000. My bad. Almost 1,000 pages. So for those that have never read this, this is exhaustive history on everything Canon films. It covers a time period, so you specifically know what you're going to be getting into. It's not leaving anything out. It is not speculating on grand sweeping choices for a company. This is well researched. This is documented items. This is getting in touch with as many people as he can get in touch with, which is a lot. This is somebody that deeply loved every single thing that a company did. Maybe not deeply loved, but loved most of those things.
He's passionate.
And it is more than a passion project. Like, this is a life's work in 1,000 pages. My era of Canon, it falls squarely into the latter half of the 80s, and they started to fall off in the latter half of the 80s, but 85 to 87 nailed my love of Canon films. So many random ass movies that you've seen that you forget are Canon are going to come into these 3-year period. And so check it out. Austin's amazing. But what really got me fired up today is when I pulled this out, because this was after Stephen Thrower. This is the first thing that I thought of. And funny enough, the way that I store this, I knocked a couple things off my shelf and I went, well, if we're going to talk about film reference books, I kind of have to cheat and throw in something extra. And really, what I go to most often is not a couple of these books, but zines. I am huge on zines. I'm huge on film reference. So much. So just want to show out a couple of these. If you ever see things on eBay, this is Death Dream. This is from 1990. Covers a whole bunch of random stuff. Video Watchdog. Like, if you are following anything, you have to have at least a couple issues of Video Watchdog. Want to shout out Klon Waldrip. If you are somebody that is following modern zines at all or unsung horrors, you probably check out some of Klon stuff. Great art, great film reference stuff. Another one, if you like art and if you like modern just zines, you probably know some of Robin Boogie's stuff. Cinema Sewer is one of the best things that you can get. The collections are easy to come by. I probably shouldn't flip through this because there are some things that I can't show. They're incredible. They are really, really well put together. The art is amazing. The writing is subversive. They're fun. If you are leaning into more of a horror thing, Stan's going to be proud of this one, who's still in the chat. The Horror Show. This is from the late 80s. Have a handful of issues of this. It is so well put together. The writing is great. It's not stuff that you're going to find that has a pretentious lint to it at all. 2 a.m. Another great magazine from the late 80s, like really, really wordy. It's not built around the art so much. It's super great. This is how much of a nerd I am. I just went to Australia, New Zealand. I came back with like 12 issues of Movie Magazine. I never see these in person and brand new. I was like, fuck yeah, it's got Roger Rabbit on it. Why not? I still subscribe to Fangoria, still get every single one. And then if you're arty, Cineast is kind of great. You can get I think it's a 6-issue subscription for like $32. There's so much in here that is amazing, really well written. They focus on a lot of good stuff. Daniel Kramer is featured in this brand new issue. Please check out magazines. I know as somebody that literally publishes a magazine every month, that's again self-serving to say, I don't fuck mine. Go buy other people's stuff. It is so good. Magazines and zines. Kino Ventura. It's one that I wanted to grab. Yeah.
Matt's working. He's releasing volume 2 coming up here.
Finally.
So,
good.
Yeah. And then one that Jeremy Ritchie did, Soledad. And I don't know if he's still doing it. But this is more like, foreign art films. But Jeremy, brilliant writer. Yeah.
There is so much. Ronnie was going to shout out Adventures in Auteurism. That's what is covered in this new issue of Cineast. So check it out. They talk about his new book.
Cool.
Love film zines. Love being able to find out some of these. And the best part is like you can be researching a project and Google film zine around a title and find out that it was featured in something. Go on eBay and find like an entire run of a zine for like $30 shipped, and you're like, this is some of the best stuff about a film that nobody ever saw back then. And now I have it in my hand and it's 38 years old and it's like brand new.
Yeah.
How? It's incredible. Yeah. I still live and die by finding some of these. Some of the best commentaries that we get nowadays, people are getting actual information straight from the release out of old film zines. They're finding people that own libraries of many of these things. Get as many as you can. Get Psychotronic, please. If you see them, do not walk away from them. You will have an absolute great time with them. Get as much as you can. Use them to research, to talk about film, to supplement what you're watching, to bolster your education on film. It is huge.
Yeah. I remember when Austin was, I think he was writing volume 2, and he was posting on Facebook he was getting like old EPKs and like the amount of research and like old zines and shit. Like, talk about the research, like digging deep. I love that. Just, it's so fascinating. I love seeing that kind of passion.
I agree. And it is one of those things where if you see somebody talking about this from 40 years ago, about a film that got a boutique release last year that you had, like you considered and you ended up passing, a 40-year-old review might make you go, shit, maybe I should pick that up because this guy loved it or something like that.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. That's all I got. Obviously, we could have each probably named another 10 or 15 film books. I had, I believe, another 8 that I was considering bringing down here, but ended up going with these 5. Check it out. If you ever got questions on film reference books, if you want any thoughts on them, if you want to ask, by all means, mention in the comments. I guarantee somebody else here has read it, whether that be us or Stan, who reads every single day. There's somebody here that has read it and would love to talk to you about it. We would love to share. And on that note, what else you got coming up? Any episodes that you want to highlight?
Yeah, we got our hate show of Brian De Palma coming up. No, I'm joking. It's Phantom of the Paradise. We like it. We're talking
blowout, fine movie.
We're talking Children of Paradise. After that, Matt and I neither have seen that, but we're gonna do it, I guess. And I think that again, like, it's nice having someone. We're not pressured to do, bless your heart, Ryan. Every week you're on schedule. We don't, we're like, we'll figure it out as we go along. That's the way I like it. Life is busy enough. The world sucks. I don't want to have to worry about doing a podcast.
It's tough. I admit. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Lots to talk about. Glad that you're here. Everybody should go check out Cult Movies if you haven't. Don't know how you haven't. It's one of the big ones. They long to bring you in to the Danny Perry world.
And God, go find some Danny books, man. He's the best. He's the absolute
Absolutely.
best, and he's, he doesn't like talking movies anymore, but he's still thriving out on the East Coast. Baseball. That's what he's all about now.
And we're all still counting down to that Brian Sauer documentary one of these days.
Uh-huh.
But don't bring it up. Sorry, Brian. Now you're going to get like 19 people asking you about it. That's all we got this week. It's been a hell of a great week. This was I think a pretty solid topic.
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, 3 hours is pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's pretty average. On that note, it's getting late, and we're in the Central Time Zone, not in LA like all you wonderful people. So we're going to be calling it a night. Thank you all for your time. We'll see you next Thursday. Thanks, Anthony.
See ya.
Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share it with someone else that may appreciate this.